75. Some evening rain showers around up until about 8 o'clock or so, then turning partly cloudy, 54. Saturday, sunshine, 75. Sunday, sunny, 75 again. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
This hour of the Mark Reardon Show is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Your trees deserve the best care. Call Gamma Tree Experts. This is the Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Everybody looks so nice in here today. Sue's got a fancy coat on. Jane, you're looking quite, I guess dapper would not be the word. That's a men's
Fetching.
word. Right. Fetching. That's right. You got the hair pulled back again today. This is a new habit you can watch on the YouTube or the X, formerly Twitter. How are you, Sue?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm
Happy
good.
Friday.
Did you watch that U.S. Open last night at all?
No, didn't have.
Oh,
to.
man. I was watching football and the U.S. Open.
Dress?
Oh, Osaka. She's been wearing
that
the whole time, though.
Yeah,
but, man, the women's tennis last night was really good, and the men's semifinals are today. I managed to juggle football and the U.S. Open at the same time, which was
it's a gift.
Pretty fun. It is a gift. Thank you for recognizing that. Jane Duker is here for the Roundtable this afternoon. Hi, Jane.
How you doing?
I'm good. Did you bring some Oreos with Reese's?
Oh, I have things. I'm not gonna prep you. You're just gonna have to go along.
We had a bit of a taste test last week in the 4 o'clock hour, and this sort of discriminates against the other Roundtable panelists like Ed Rohde, who's here this afternoon, political consultant. You don't get to stay in the 4 o'clock hour, so
I could if you really want.
Yeah, we could invite you, but we're not going to.
Oh,
sorry.
Wow.
We're going to
I got good food.
Send you packing after this hour. Sean Flower is here, the mayor of Eureka. How are you?
Doing wonderful.
Hey, let's point something out here. You probably know this, Sean. The Focus Marines Foundation hosts the Mark Cox Show once a year in Eureka. And next Thursday on September 11th at Chickenelli's, Mark's going to be there doing the morning show live.
Yes.
That's not too far from where I live. I might have to zip
that's a nice
down there.
Spot, drop in, good breakfast down there. He gets a good crowd. So
all right,
Marines
we'll mention that a couple of times here this afternoon. Bunch of national topics that we will get to as the hour progresses here this afternoon. Let's start here, though, with just some local stuff and what's going on in Jeff City with the special session. And Jane, what are you hearing at this point about what's going on? Are they making progress? They're back in, the special session that Mike Kehoe calls to address a couple of different issues, initiative petition reform, and, of course, redrawing the legislative lines.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to push it through. And, Congressman Cleaver's already said he's going to sue. And, the state constitution isn't great for him. I mean, the best of both worlds would be is if they push this map through and then it's declared invalid because you can't do it like whenever. Because if you can do it now, you can do it every year. You can do it twice a year. I don't think that was ever supposed to be the case. And the Missouri Constitution says after the decennial census. So I think there is legal issues there.
Well, there always are.
But there always
you
are.
lawyers will be fine. You'll survive,
yes,
right?
I love that. Keep the lawyers very busy. And so I think that's interesting. Initiative petition reform, I mean, they probably just need to get that done and get it off the table. I think having initiative petition reform along with the maps, little log rolling never hurt anybody. I think that helps things along. But it's, in the past, it's been the Republicans who have stopped that, not the Democrats. So it'll be interesting to see. I think what they're
and that one's a little bit more complicated because that's still whatever they put together on initiative petition reform, whether they change the amount of votes that are required in a congressional district or, change the threshold for how much you need to pass, an initiative petition, whether it's 50% plus one or it's 60%. There's all kinds of things on the table, but that has to go to a vote of the people. So that makes it even more complicated. So whatever they might do has to eventually end up on a ballot for Missouri voters.
And I also think, be careful. I mean, I think that it should be harder to amend the Constitution. And I think you will get a lot of support from all sides on that we don't need 50-page amendments to the Constitution. That's not what it's meant for. But having this where you've got to get, 70% of all the congressional districts at some point, and I read 5% of the voters could stop an initiative. Well, that's not what it's supposed to be either. So, they shouldn't overplay their hand. That doesn't mean they won't. but it would just be better if they just said, look, let's make it hard to amend the Constitution.
But well,
and-
voters, if this gets, this ends up on the ballot, this is the one thing that's frustrating. I don't even know if people are going to know what the hell they're voting on, Ed.
I don't think they do either. And I have to say, and this is kind of bad, but from like a consultant perspective, this is great because both sides are going to load up spending money to try to pass this or defeat it. And I have to say, like my personal opinion, I do think we need some sort of IP reform because you shouldn't be able to change the Constitution with 50%.
I agree.
And I mean, maybe 54% or maybe 50
or maybe 60
or 60 or
I
whatever. Doing it
well, they've used
50%
different
plus
threshold numbers have been thrown out there. So I've said this before. I've been talking about, this process for 4 decades because I remember being pissed off about it in the 1980s, honestly. So it's definitely needed. I just think it's one of those things, Sean, that people don't really understand. And the issue from a Republican standpoint is, look, you have all these big money groups that can come out. And if the legislature with a supermajority of Republicans doesn't want to do something, but the out-of-state big money group wants to change the Constitution, it's way too easy for them to do it. And I think that's a legitimate issue for sure. Look, I'm more in favor of the initiative petition reform, even though it makes my eyes gloss over, than I am the district redistricting, because I feel I'm just being honest, because if I try to apply the same principle, if the Democrats were in control and they were doing this now, I'd be flipping out and I wouldn't be very happy about it. So I do understand.
But the argument there is they would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, well, okay. And I get that.
Well, then why didn't we?
Well, whoever wins this is the one that's able to dumb it down in a way that like regular voters can understand. And I don't know what that looks like yet, but that's the.
You mean on IP reform?
Yes.
But I mean, I'm the districts. You're fine with it because, and this is where I land. But you look at Illinois, you look at what they're doing in California. So when people do have the power, when the Democrats have had the power, they've carved these maps out to their likability. The Republicans tried to do that a couple of years ago. There was a dispute about how the districts would be cut. And you get 2 districts in Missouri that go to Democrats, Emanuel Cleaver on the other side of the state. They want to take that district and carve it out differently. So it goes across a big swath of the state, even
which
into
may
Boone
not
County.
give them what they want. They may have 3 watered down districts that, they may not increase their fortunes if they split up Cleaver's district into with 3 Republicans. It'll weaken all of their districts.
But are you fine with doing it? Because the Democrats have done it and they use their power.
Just watching the argument, and again, you almost take it out of Missouri because it's really a nationwide issue. I think it's more the nationwide Republican Party is saying get every Republican congressional seat you can, and it starts Texas, California,
and you're not allowed to change the map. I mean, Trump has told the Republicans, you vote yes or no on this map. They aren't allowed to change it. I mean, he's not accepting that. So I do think it puts him in a corner.
Yeah, I mean, you got to make a decision, but I think it's just an interesting issue because it's the one policy you look at. I mean, what you really get down to is like those gerrymandered maps in Illinois. You stare at them and it's just ridiculous. I mean, you look at people getting a political. It's amazing it's even legally possible.
I described the Illinois, that one district in the middle. It looks like if you're looking at a storm coming across the Midwest and the line of the storm goes, from southern Oklahoma all the way up to the tip of Iowa. That's what that district kind of looks like in Illinois.
But I just don't have I just think everybody. I think it's interesting. It's again, everybody's if they're honest, they go, I'd make the opposite argument if I get on the other side. And generally, you're trying to reinforce your strength on it. And, and then they could be unpredictable. You could have weaker seats long term. You could do, there could be 1,000 things. But do I have a problem with them outside of this every 10 years? No.
Okay, because here's another thing about it.
I mean, then everybody's just going to do it every year, which is
fine.
Well, it's
stupid.
a dangerous precedent, really. Because
it is.
you had said earlier, I mean, what happens when the Democrats are in charge?
Well, that won't happen in Missouri.
Well, not in Missouri, but we're going to be doing this in other states.
Yeah.
I just
but that's
like
what I think that's the issue, though. You're seeing it though right away with California. I mean, it's effectively happening one way or the other. So
well, there's going to be a reaction.
That's what the Republicans nationally are saying is if you look at state after state, they're saying it's already happened. So the dangerous precedent has already happened. It's just there's only one team playing the game.
Well, what do you mean there's going to be a reaction? Because I think this is another one of those things
where
you
can't hardly get anymore.
And they're going to eradicate Republicans.
But you've already done it.
Well, they've done that. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You got states that have 40% for Trump and 0 representation. Well, they say like Massachusetts, like 40%. They have 0.
Connecticut. Apparently, Maine's still a state. I wasn't aware, but Maine has the same deal going on.
But they're only doing this every 10 years, so they're kind of doing it by the rules, right? I mean, they're gerrymandering.
Well, this is.
But that's the backup argument, though. You go, oh, it's a threat to democracy. We're all everything's gonna come to an end if they do it. But then it's like, well, it's really just a process issue because as long as you only threaten democracy every 10 years, we're good with it. I mean, it's like
I've never said it's a threat to democracy.
But I'm just saying, but that's kind of the nationwide term. I don't
here's
think
the problem.
there's
now
no
people are going to start doing it every year, and then we'll end up talking about redistricting, and then education, jobs, everything else will go to the bottom again because everybody wants to talk about process.
Well, that's disappointing.
Instead of, we're doing this instead of doing the important issue. Why is nobody talking about education? We've got, another generation of kids that don't know how to read, but we're talking about gerrymandering. I mean, that to
Look,
me,
I got to agree with you on that.
But if you don't have control of the House and you don't have political control, then you don't get to talk about the other stuff anyway. It's a very important issue.
Well, the times we've gotten the most done, like, for example, the last time we had actually a surplus instead of all deficits with Bill Clinton, you had a Republican Congress and you had a Democratic president. And that generally seems to be when the most stuff gets done because both parties have to jump off to actually get something done. And so, he has full control now and he's not getting it done. Why does he,
I don't know what
this is about him.
What do you mean he's not getting things done? He's every day he's getting
nothing
stuff
through
done.
Congress. Nothing through Congress.
Oh,
I mean,
plenty
he's
through
doing
Congress.
all kinds of fiat
All he needs
stuff.
is a pen, right?
Right,
just a pen and a phone, and you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I remember when
stuff the courts are turning over.
And winning.
Yeah.
He's winning a court over and over by the time it gets up top.
Not really.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to sit there and say this is an uneventful,
I think he's
Trump,
scoring
he's
victory. A lot of the things that he said he was going to do, he's definitely doing.
But
and
he's not getting it through Congress. He's not getting
big beautiful bill.
The big beautiful bill. Yeah.
Well,
but he does nothing.
That was
That
a
was
key
the
piece
one-
of legislation. By the way, they're
one thing.
rebranding that now because they don't think it addresses the tax cuts as much as it should, which I agree with. But what hasn't he done that he said he was going to do? Now, granted, he did say he was going to solve the Ukraine war in one day. That seems to be dragging on a little bit. I mean,
It's
we're
been more
still
than 24
we're
hours.
a couple of weeks away from the meeting with Putin. That was 3 weeks ago, I think, wasn't it? And that's a pretty quiet situation. But when you look at some of the things that are happening nationally for the Democrats, you got J.B. Pritzker out there and some of these folks. Axelrod was even lecturing them. These are people, Jane, and you know this, and Ed, you know this too. They're completely out of touch on this crime issue. They think that fighting the notion that people want to be safer is going to be a political victory for them and help them in the midterms or 2028. That's insanity.
It is. And they just don't get the memo. And I think this idea that, we're not going to deport criminals. I mean, it's just it's a 90-10 issue. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get why we still have to stay in this rut where we say, these urban centers should just be free to just allow havoc and allow crime and it's just
every
not
time we keep
okay.
talking about these cases that go national, these are people who've been arrested 10 times, 13 times, 17 times, right? And any cop here will tell you the same thing.
I don't want to pay to incarcerate these people.
Well, the one that's amazing is that one that the truck accident down in Florida where the guy has a driver's license and had been, had deportation issues all over the place and gets a job with a trucking company and comes from California to Florida and kills a family doing a U-turn there. I mean, you just started by going, how do we not agree on these type of cases? But you'd have somebody stand up for that even as a. Hey,
we had Democrats going down to where'd they go, Mexico or wherever, to try to go,
get the Maryland father back.
Yeah.
But like a Brandon Johnson, I do not understand the politics of it. And I don't know, maybe they don't have a price to pay, but that is one where it just seems like if you had, I don't understand turning down help in those situations.
Well, I think there are Democrats in Chicago that don't understand that either. They don't get it because they want help in their communities.
Yeah, my Democratic friends are complaining about Trump, and I'll ask them, okay, what's the alternative? What Democrat or what Democratic policy is the alternative when they can't even acknowledge that crime is a problem? That's a problem that you can't even acknowledge.
Yeah, the only thing you guys have is anti-Trump. Trump is bad.
Right.
There's not anything that really, to Jane's point, and I'm going to revisit this in a couple of minutes, the lack of attention to some of the things that really do matter in this country is stunning. And I'll kind of bring that point home here as we get into the next segment. It's a Reardon Roundtable on a Friday afternoon.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the road, some volume out there on 70 in both directions at Jennings Station Road. So take care through there. We also have a stall reported westbound 70 at Cave Springs, that one in the right lane. And that, of course, causing a little bit of a delay. Now, if you're headed out west, 6440, well, first of all, in the city, it's slow. Kings Highway out through McCausland. Some volume right at Lindbergh. Eastbound, some moderate volume as you head toward 270. Then a little bit as you approach the Boone Bridge. It's that sort of thing. And 70 westbound out west, slowing Cave Springs, and then again headed for Lake St. Louis Boulevard. If you are southbound or will be on 55, that's a slow go at Bates. And there's some volume westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge. Southbound 270, it's moderate volume from Olive down through Doherty Ferry. This report brought to you by Barron Mirror Glass and Door. They have the largest, most beautiful showroom in all of St. Louis, full of the latest, most custom designs, located in Chesterfield Valley. There you'll see why they say creativity unlimited, quality unsurpassed. I'm Sue Thomas. That's Traffic 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Oh, the Chiefs are in action in just a few hours. I want you, if you have not done it yet, download the Underdog Fantasy app and have a little fun this weekend with the opening weekend of the NFL, because it's so easy and you can play in Missouri. And all you have to do once you sign up, you get your username. I'll guide you into some bonus credits here in a moment. You just pick whether your players will go higher or lower on stats. So you got Mahomey tonight for touchdowns or, passing yards or even rushing yards. Travis Kelce. I like the name, even though I don't like the Chargers. I do like the name Ladd McConkey, who is one of their wide receivers. And you can, of course, make selections with the Chargers or any of the other teams playing this weekend. You don't just have to pick one game. You don't just have to pick one sport. You can do some baseball and football with the U.S. Open, et cetera, mix and match. But mess around with it. They make it real easy on the app. And again, if you sign up with the promo code MarkR, that gets you $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5 on Underdog Fantasy. Again, the promo code is MarkR, MarkR. Millions of fans have won billions making plays on Underdog. Will you be next? Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 39 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Back to Mark Reardon, because someone's got to say it out loud. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
The Reardon Roundtable on a Friday afternoon with Jane Duker on the panel, Ed Rohde, a political consultant for the Democrats, Sean Flower, a mayor who is a Republican, a mayor of Eureka. And Jane, you said before you get into some of these other issues that there's a little breaking news on Senator Hawley.
Yes, he's supporting the Boeing strikers, the workers, and he's got some pretty harsh things to say. It's like, you got CEO and executives making lots of money while their planes fall out of the sky and they don't want to pay the workers. I mean, he's teeing off. So, I mean, he's done this before. He did this with the auto workers, and he takes a kind of a populist left, and and he was the one who got RECA, which is the relief for the North County people that are have been hurt by the radioactive waste.
Look at you indulging in endorsing Josh Hawley. How about that?
Not
Shane?
endorsing him, but there are a few things that he's done that I've been really happy with. And RECA, you know what? That the fact that got across the finish line is nothing short of extraordinary, and it's huge.
Props to him.
Props to him. We didn't have anybody locally doing it, so there you go.
All right. Crazy hearing on Capitol Hill yesterday with RFK Jr.
Scientists who said they wanted to brief you on the science, scientists who wanted to understand why the FDA, why you unilaterally changed the parameters for giving vaccines.
This is crazy talk. You're just making stuff up.
What you should be doing is honoring your promise that you made when you were looking to get confirmed in this job.
I never promised that I was going to recommend products with which there is no indication. I don't even know what you're talking about. You're talking gibberish.
Mr. Secretary, let me speak slowly and clearly so that you can understand me through my New Mexico accent.
And then give me a chance to answer.
Does this help? Can you understand me?
So it got a little crazy and out of hand, and there was a lot of shouting over one another. J.D. Vance, our vice president, tweeted, "When I see all these senators trying to lecture and, quote, gotcha Bobby Kennedy today, all I can think of is you all support off-label, untested, and irreversible hormonal therapies for children, mutilating our kids and enriching big pharma. You're full of blank, and everyone knows it." I did like that response, Sean Flower. Now, everything that RFK Jr. is about, I'm not a real supporter of. So I think there are, lanes where we can criticize him. But, the issue that I have goes back to the trust that we've lost in our, entities like the CDC. These are the people that wanted us wearing masks, when we were outdoors. And they made up the 6 feet thing from 1918 and everything that came along with COVID, including the vaccine, the, efficacy of the vaccine. They were lies. So it's hard, even if you have, I said this yesterday, even if you have someone with controversial views. I don't agree with everything he says on vaccines. I heard some stuff yesterday that was a little troubling as well. But how do you not judge that with the comparison and the juxtaposition of what's happened with public health in the last 5 years alone?
Yeah, that hearing was the revenge of everybody that's ticked off cleaning it up a little bit about COVID. It's just, we're going to vote and we're going to clean every one of you lying sacks out of that agency. And I mean that, every one of them. I mean, and I love how their best response from the CDC has been, what is that, Dr. Descalis, who's got some perverse thing where he's got more, he was a high up doctor at CDC. And then you have all of his photos leaked of him in like bondage wear, doing all sorts of weird.
Oh yeah, that's the guy that got fired. That used he was the guy that used the pregnant people.
Right. But I mean, you've talked about a group of people that literally completely eviscerated the credibility of the Health and Human Services Department. They all got to go, period. And even Mandy, the gal they're bringing back in, is the one that was talking like a high school kid about how she's calling her friend. And that's how we decided we're not going to let them have football games. We're not going to let them do this. Right. You guys literally ruined kids' lives. And maybe you give them 6 months. It was 2 years. You had the teachers unions rewrite all of the rules and shut down schools for another year.
Right.
Everybody gets what they get. And this is, some of it is just a rage, but I actually find it, it's fun. And I'm absolutely amazed at the ignorance of many of the senators and the questions asked, like, when they say, well, how many people died of COVID? And he says, well, I don't know. And they'll act like there's some exact number. And he goes, I don't know, because you categorized everything so crazy. You have people dying in motorcycle accidents that died.
By the way, he's
100% right.
That's
and
so
those
documented.
Senators don't know.
Right.
It's stunning to watch the stupidity. And they still think they're playing. I'm amazed at how far behind they are, because they are still playing a game they think they're winning. And especially the youth vote and people around, everybody's like, no, you guys are, you have no idea what you're talking. I can't. And if you don't understand it now, it really makes me have a hard time trusting you, because you're twisting facts. There's never been a reckoning on COVID, and that's what this is.
Yeah, so that's an interesting point.
There actually is a reckoning coming, because if you talk to kids, like I talked to my kids, and they were the ones, like my daughter lost her last 2 years of high school. My son lost his last year of college. And there is a reckoning, and you are finding the younger generation being far more conservative because they feel like that they were completely powerless as to what was going to happen. That lack of control leads to anxiety and mental health issues, because, they were whipped around.
The kids are resilient. That was
kids
the
are
line
resilient.
from these, but that was the line from these same chuckleheads that were justifying why they could do anything to kids, because kids can get over it. What's childhood? It's irreplaceable. All of it's bad. And I agree with you. This is the start of the reckoning. Yeah. But they've sowed something, and just the lack of connect with those senators.
By the way,
stunned.
Just as a side note here, and I've been tracking this a little bit. I've mentioned it a few times in the last week. I read a lot of different newspapers, and this was, I think, the 6th out of 7 days that I went to the LA Times, and on the front page of the LATimes.com, there's something related to COVID and a COVID spike. And 2 days ago, they were encouraging people to mask up. In September of 2025, these idiots, these are the people out in California, they didn't want you on the beach during COVID. So to your point, people have had enough with this stuff. And the media in California, they did this last year. And this is the best thing about it is, if you read about 7 or 8 paragraphs down in the LA Times story, they have to admit that the number of hospitalizations and deaths is even though there's this spike going on and they're detecting COVID in the wastewater, the numbers are lower than they were last summer.
Right.
So they're scaring the crap out of people on COVID again for no reason whatsoever.
And I think people have tuned out. And I think that this was what happens when any party overplays their hand. And this is where I think the Republicans, they won't learn, because neither party does. But I mean, when you overplay your hand, eventually, I mean, when the whipsaw comes back, it's ugly.
Mhm.
And so when you have one party who is trying to smash, and I will tell you, during COVID, I mean, there was one party in charge, and they were in charge everywhere, and it was, and I think people are not forgetting that, and I think that it's all okay until it's not, and if, you know,
Trump has culpability with a part of MAGA that, you know,
Yes.
certainly that sides with RFK Jr. on the vaccine issue in particular. And that was addressed a little bit yesterday. Look, Operation Warp Speed, I do happen to believe that the vaccine saved a
I
lot of
agree.
lives, right? But I think that the advocacy for it was way off. The messaging, younger
And the
people didn't need it,
silencing.
toddlers didn't need it, people under, you know, now we're to the point where we actually have some messaging on who should get the shot in the fall of 2025 that we should have had 5 years ago.
I mean, yeah, to me, the most horrible thing about the COVID thing, and you know, because I was at all these meetings in St. Louis County when you had Scam Page denouncing the council because they actually listened to people who said, you know what, I've seen a study, you know, maybe what you're saying isn't exactly accurate, and they were banished for being like heretics.
Yeah. By the way, it's also the mandates.
Yeah.
It's the way
They're
that
killing
this,
grandma. Yeah.
That's the other thing that's important to
They actually
realize.
did kill grandma. They didn't kill the kids. They killed grandma because they didn't send any assets to the nursing homes, and the old people.
Oh.
Those are the people who all died, and they ignored them.
That's actually true. Yeah, in New York City in particular, and one of those guys that was
In St.
responsible
Louis
for that
County.
wants to be the mayor of New York right now, and he's probably not going to win with Andrew Cuomo. But the other issue, and this is what came up yesterday, is, and I think a lot of us remember this, it's not just the way that the vaccine was sold or that it was rolled out or anything like that. It was that it was forced on people. There were mandates, employer mandates. You couldn't go to concerts unless you showed your stupid vaccine card. I mean, thinking about that, and it was just a few years ago, is just mind numbing.
Or that the Department of Health workers at St. Louis County got the vaccine before anybody else. You know, it just showed that this was just, I mean, that really chapped people. It's like, you know, not the cops or the firefighters who were on the front line the whole time. They weren't first in line. They had to get behind, you know, bureaucrats. I mean, there were a lot of things that people got really mad. And there is an undercurrent of that. And I don't think that my party has gotten that memo.
But yesterday, you know, Sean, you know this, there were a lot of Republicans who kind of ganged up a little bit on RFK Jr. I've seen some pundits, even some guests on my show on a regular basis, Bachanga Sargon, who ripped into RFK Jr. So there are people out there on the other side, or maybe who are, you know, leaning more Republican or pro-Trump than they ever did before, that still have an issue with his role in HHS.
I think that's actually strangely a good sign of somebody in a department. I mean, it's kind of interesting to watch bipartisan
opposition
issues come up, and
Yeah,
maybe that means he's, you know, because I find him to do a lot of questioning and say things, you know, I want to test this, or I want to do that. People just go nuts, and you're like, well, I mean, you know, and then he does say things like chronic illness or vaccine, you know, there's all sorts of stats and health things. He says, we're not healthy, we're not better, and you guys keep clinging to the same system. And anytime I try and change anything, you act like it's the end of the world. And I really like some.
I
there's
do too.
good response to
The
all of his
discussion
get
is
healthy.
helpful.
It
Yes.
is. You don't have to be threatened but that's.
But
it
here's the
makes you
thing,
think
you know
they're
what?
Wrong. You know?
Yesterday could have been a discussion, and it was not. Now,
got a
and
little
I always
weird.
have to admit that when Democrats chair these hearings, the Republicans do a lot of the blah, 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 blah too. But there really was, given the nature of the dynamics, to your point, Sean, with Republicans having issues, and there were some that really did want to get answers, but a lot of it just became, you know, a shouting match yesterday. And that's disappointing because there are questions that should be addressed and perspectives
And could
that
be.
should be addressed. And they could be, but
And
not
I
on the
think he
form like
cuts
that.
through though too, because when you look at him, he's a wealthy guy. He could be doing anything else with his life. Lost to get there, and I mean, I think he's doing it because he thinks he's doing something important.
Yep.
No, I believe that he believes the crud he's peddling. I just hope that he is willing to say, you know what, I'm going to question things, but I'm also not going to tune out every other opinion that's contrary to mine. I don't understand why people are so afraid of opinions that they don't agree with. Like, I don't understand.
Well, that was part
I
of the
mean,
whole issue with COVID the first summer, because you only
Right.
had one line of thought, and there were different
you were
viewpoints, but
evil.
they were shut down.
Right.
They were shut down. Hang on, it's a Reardon Roundtable on a Friday afternoon. We are back with more in a moment.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, it's a Friday afternoon, so we do have some volume westbound on 64 approaching Kings Highway. Out through 170, slowing again at 270. This is all moderate volume. And that is what you'll see all the way out through the 70 split. 70, slow-moving traffic, moderate in both directions at Jennings Station Road. We've got an accident reported eastbound just past 141. And then westbound picks up again in pockets past 79 on out through Wentzville. Now, there's a jam in both directions on the McKinley Bridge and a slow go westbound on the Poplar and southbound 55 at Bates. Southbound 270, moderate volume. But it does stretch from Page down through Doherty Ferry, and then it opens up and looks better. I'm Sue Thomas, and that's traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
A fine sponsor of this show and of 97.1 FM Talk, Susan L. Ward, who is a family practice attorney and a really, really good one, exceptional at her job, a lot of experience as well. And she's someone that you want in your corner if you're facing the end of a marriage or issues that pop up in the aftermath of divorce, because you could have modifications to existing orders, post-divorce issues that come up all the time, and they can handle that in the law offices of Susan L. Ward, LLC. She's got a brand new office, by the way, in De Pere, near 270 in Manchester. And the recommendation is always, if you ask Susan, when you reach out, when is that point that you contact a lawyer? Right away when you think there's trouble, because then she can prevent you from doing things that might come back to haunt you in your case, especially if kids are involved. Do the right thing. Contact Susan. Here's the number, 314-783-9400. The website has it all, stlfamilylaw.com. Confidential consultation form is right up there on the website, and they'd be happy to get back to you right away. The focus on family law and the emphasis on you, Susan L. Ward.
Wow, we've had a hot summer so far. Probably still got a little bit more heat coming in through the rest of August and September. Most likely, let you know, I am still here. If you guys looked up the wife looking through you at a fork, I am still here. She still loves the hell out of me because my air conditioner did not break this summer, and I did not need to call me to have it looked at or have it fixed. But if you do need your air conditioner fixed, we can get to you pretty quick. If you want a new one, somebody tells you need a new one, we can get to you really quick. Just call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. I almost forgot. bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, the trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a one-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce taxes in retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, or visit fta-ria.com and take the first step toward a smarter retirement. 314-888-5101.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
And this portion of the show is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air.
From the gateway to the airwaves, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Well, it is a Friday afternoon. That means a Friday Reardon Roundtable. Jane is here with us. Jane Duker will stay in the 4 o'clock hour. We'll have a little fun with some entertainment stuff. Paul Hall will join us with movies and television recommendations. Also, Frank Cusumano on sports. We're going to preview the big Mizzou KU game tomorrow. A big NFL game tonight with the Chiefs as well. What was that, Jane?
M-I-Z.
Z-O-U. I cannot wait. I have my Mizzou shirt on today. So I just finished watching, and we're going to talk about this a little bit with Paul. And Jane, I know that you're the queen of streaming television, but this morning I wrapped up the Spike Lee documentary on Netflix, which is called Katrina Come Hell and High Water. And this was right now where we are sitting is the 20-year anniversary. And, when I say now this week, because Katrina, when it hit, it's funny because it's not funny, but when the initial media reports came out, they go to the French
pretty
Quarter and
good.
everything seemed like it was okay because it was okay until the levees broke. And when the levees broke, that changed everything. But I couldn't help but thinking of, because what they do in this documentary, and, it focuses almost exclusively on poor African Americans because those were the people that were affected most. They had to go to the Superdome and the convention center, and they didn't get any food. There were bodies that were hanging out, all this stuff. But they also talk about the lasting impact of Katrina from not only socioeconomic perspectives, psychological perspectives, mental health, and resources and education. And this is where I want to make a comparison to St. Louis, because watching this, and I highly recommend it, even though there's some politics in there and there's some stuff that I rolled my eyes at with Spike Lee, there's enough good stuff that people should be reminded about that time and what happened in New Orleans. But I can't help thinking about St. Louis and how many kids that ordinarily would be at school right now, but they're not because of the tornadoes or because of other things related to the mess that St. Louis public schools are. And we sit here, we've already talked about this DC crime issue in Chicago just a little bit, right? Jane, the amount of times we talk about crime in the city on this show, it's nearly everyone, right? You go, if you track the Roundtable and you did that, but there is no way to get out of this vicious cycle unless we make sure that education is stronger and we have more mentorship and leaders and all this stuff. And I'm fearful that on a much smaller scale, I mean, Katrina was, Hall of Fame level disaster.
1,200 people died, yeah.
But in our situation, and I have a friend that reached out to me a week ago who is just beyond apoplectic about the lack of response in some parts of North St. Louis, when it comes to the cleanup and the debris removal. And he wants to do something. I'm going to take a ride with him next Friday. So I'll report back on this on the Roundtable, because I will, and I'll get some video of that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know if you have an opinion of how, or do even have a perspective of how, the resources are working. I know that there was more money from the Ram settlement that apparently was moved over to help. I mean, I still think we're at a small level of money. How about a real investment into fixing things here?
Well, that's the thing is debris removal is number one. And but these people need to live somewhere. We're either going to chase them out of the city, which is going to, continue the drain, especially of minority populations.
What happened in New Orleans?
Exactly. And
they moved to other cities. They
did.
They just moved
They had
out.
to. They got moved to Atlanta and they stayed. They went to Dallas. They went to,
Houston.
Houston. And so and so we could be below 300,000 in population. I mean, we could be next to, like, the city could be Florissant really soon if we don't get a handle on this. What they're not talking about is, yes, you have to clean the debris. Most of these homes are not going to get refurbished because you can't. It's too expensive. But there is no plan to build homes. So we have, like, the best home builders, like, here. I mean, and why
you happen to have a brother who's one of those, I believe.
But I mean, they're building.
There's a panelist here today who might be one of those. Sean Flower, right?
Yeah, Sean's one of them too.
No, you were there. I should have cited you first, Flower. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you're here. But I mean, they're building 500 homes in Cuba, Missouri. I mean, like, we need to build 100 or 200 homes now. I'm not talking about Section 8. I'm talking about homes, that like young families, can live in. And
I can afford.
Yes, and afford. And I mean, the city acts like new construction is Satan's spawn.
But to me, what's interesting is you have trouble too with, they can't manage. They really struggle with just managing when you don't have a disaster. So when you put a disaster on top of it, you don't really have the tools there. And the one that always hits my mind is, like, so you have Katrina, but the one in my mind, it's been recently is when they had the disaster, that terrible one in Florida, and they had the Sanibel Bridge rebuilt. So they've got, how fast you can tell the answer is leadership.
Santa's got that.
And it's got to be the people there, but he pulled heaven and earth, went over there and put it in. But you've got to, the one party that can cut the red tape is the party that creates the red tape. And that seems to be the issue with a lot of these cities
money
and
sitting
states.
in accounts for housing.
But you should go. You got to have somebody there and go. It's possible to do. And I mean, we've dealt with flooding and issues on a smaller scale in Eureka that have been very damaging. But you go. And a lot of that is, I got all sorts of calls like, can we do this or not? Or what do we do? I mean, I'll hate to say it, sometimes you do things you wouldn't do in a normal situation. Things go faster. I mean, you can cut rules.
I mean, people lose. I think people lose. They lose faith.
But there's an answer, and they got to go. I mean, if the people in charge can't figure out how to move something, then why are you there?
But because they have to ask everybody, and they have to have a commission for everything.
Blue ribbon panel, right?
And we've got money sitting in a bank account for housing. I mean, money sitting in a bank. Build homes for these people.
But the city makes it too hard with the
It does.
regulations that they put in place. They want to rehab everything. They don't want to build new
Right.
homes.
There
which
is a
the challenge.
complete bias against new construction, which I think is dumb. I really do. I mean, we have a ton of new construction on the Hill, and the Hill is thriving because new people have come, because you have housing that, people want to live in. And, I'm sorry. I mean, we can save the bricks, and the bricks are wonderful, but these people don't have insurance and they don't have a home.
Yeah. You know what's sad
They're
about
way beyond that.
one of the things in the documentary is, and this was in the part that I watched this morning, and I didn't remember this aspect of it, and I don't think they really put a bunch of blame on him, but Brad Pitt goes in and helps raise, I think, like $100 million or something. They start a foundation to build homes, and they build these homes for people, and it looks like the greatest thing ever, except that they built the homes so environmentally friendly that they did not really deflect water. And they started literally falling apart within weeks. And all these people that thought they had these great new homes to live in, they couldn't even live with them. And then they're torn down. And some of them have never been rebuilt to this day.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I just, you can't.
It's a tough situation. But do we have Ed, let me ask you this, because it's hard, and I don't watch a lot of local TV news, but it is hard to get a perspective on how much the city is doing and whether Kara continues to do a good job. She's not someone who is seeking, the spotlight or the limelight. I do think that she has the best interests of the city, in her heart and at the top, but it's hard to gauge how much is actually getting done because there's not a ton of media coverage on that.
That is a good question. And I think her heart is in the right place. And I think she is doing a good job. And I think she's trying. But again, I mean, things are just so slow to move in St. Louis. I mean, even when they're moving fast, they're moving slow. I mean, to Jane's point, if you were to build new homes, I mean, this is, a 2, 3, 4, 5 year project.
If not longer than that,
it shouldn't have to be, though.
Going back to Katrina, there was a group that came in separate from the Brad Pitt group. And they're like, look, our goal is to do this by, this particular time. And they only are 55% on that goal from 20 years ago in 2025. So the goal, and I can't remember exact number that they set, but the goal that they set and said, we're going to do this 2 decades later, they're still not there.
Yeah. And I just think, we have money sitting in the bank. That's what irks me is, has anybody gone to the experts and said, hey, what would it take to build homes for this many people impacted? Just ask. And here's another problem I think Kara has, and it's not her fault. This government is organized to fail. I mean, it genuinely is. I mean,
you mean St. Louis City government?
Yes. Trying to get a permit through. I can't even imagine.
But that's why I say it's interesting. They can't function anyway.
Right. So
with
you
the way
add
their
this,
structure is, so you add it, and then what's really amazing is that it
twice as
functions so
hard.
bad that even the people that are in charge can't operate in their own system. I've seen that in cities before, and maybe they'll start learning, but I don't know what gets the pressure up. But and what's also crazy is that one they kept showing the FEMA deadline had passed, and they didn't have applications. So it's there is an element of people got to help themselves too, and you get the feeling they're so despondent that nobody, it's almost like the voting issue. But I mean, when you're not even going in to fill out a FEMA application for help, and your house is blown up,
because they're probably leaving.
Well, which begs the question. I mean, is housing in North City really the right purpose for that land? Should we be looking at maybe light industrial or other uses for that land there? Right. I mean,
and build houses somewhere else.
You'd have to tell people and level them, because you do see on the news, it seems like when you go through, there's a lot of this hope that people are, maybe somebody will come in and rebuild this house. And I mean, just structurally, I look at stuff and go, somebody needs to go tell a person, I know your family's been here. I know this is tough.
It's not going to happen.
You got to get out of here.
Yeah,
you
got to get out.
Hang tight. We have one more segment of the Reardon Roundtable to go here on a Friday afternoon.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We've got Friday traffic, but at this hour, it's mainly moderate. If you are westbound on 70, it's just a little slow at Jennings Station Road, a slow pocket or two past the airport, but it does jam up a bit, headed for O'Fallon and Highway K. And then there's some moderate volume out at Wentzville. Even eastbound is a little slow for Estelle through Wentzville. 6440 is heavy and slow. Now, this is approaching Kings Highway. It goes out through the inner belt, some moderate volume at 270 and moderate pockets as you head out towards 70. Now, southbound 270 is a slow go. Again, just moderate volume, but it's from Page down through Doherty Ferry. And then again, approaching Gravois. 55 is slowing right at Bates. And if you're headed into Illinois, things still look fine on the approach and the Poplar Street Bridge itself. 44, though, is slow in front of the arch. I'm Sue Thomas, and that's traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I go on every once in a while to the michaelsflooringoutlet.com website, which is igotfloored.com, and you will see review after review that is raving about the level of customer service that they get from Mike and the team with 3 great locations. You're going to get outstanding service from the get-go with people that know what they're talking about in the carpet industry. We had a couple of different projects that we were pitching to Mike right around this time last year, and they executed them in October of last year. We had a little product left over, and we took an area in the basement that we also had some hard flooring installed with. Top to bottom, it was a great experience. He has top-notch people that will come in to your home to do the measurements and make sure that everything's set up. The team that comes to your house will be very respectful. You'll end up one of those people that's going to leave a rave review on their website after your experience. So don't trust a big decision like carpeting or flooring in your home to big box store that has no experience. Trust Michael's Flooring Outlet here in St. Louis. They're in St. Peters, in Darden Prairie, on Olive in Creve Coeur, and they're open 6 days a week, just closed on Sundays.
Mark Cox here. Join us live Thursday, September 11th at Chicken Ellie's in Eureka as we support Focus Marines Foundation. They're helping post 9/11 veterans transition to civilian life. Learn more at 971talk.com/events.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Annie Fry here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They are the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
From politics to pop culture, Reardon breaks it all down. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I believe we have another taste test just around the corner right before Sue's News. After Fox News at the top of the hour, Jane has brought some more treats in for us this afternoon. It seems very unfair to the audience since they can't enjoy this, but they can watch on the YouTube or the X, formerly Twitter feed. Paul Hall's going to join us with some entertainment recommendations. We got Cusumano in the next hour as well. Who watched? Did you guys watch it all in the NFL game last night?
Oh, yeah.
Or not? Yes. Sean Flower says yes. Ed Rody, did you watch?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Jane, did you watch it all?
I didn't watch it all, but I watched some.
Okay, so from the very beginning, did you see the incident with
spitting?
and I don't think there was a second spitter like in the Seinfeld episode, but
Yeah.
Jalen Carter, who is one of the top, if not the top defensive ends in the entire league, before the game really even started, he gets into it with the quarterback
He
of
spits on
the
him.
Cowboys, Dak Prescott. And you don't notice what happens at first. You see them kind of facing off over one another, and then you see the referee, and they announced that he's not only been hit with, a penalty, but kicked out of the game. And then the announcers kind of go back, and Tirico and Collinsworth are like, did he spit on him? And sure enough, you can slow that down. I don't know what this is. I do think this is going to get me in trouble. There's a little bit of a cultural angle on this that, I think certainly is at play. Jalen Hurts, the quarterback of the Eagles, says that he had a discussion with Jalen after the ejection and that the two are on the same page, that the incident is something everyone can learn from. Look, this guy, even though he's really, really good, he gets into trouble every once in a while, and most of the penalties are because of his behavior. So I don't know what the league is going to do here, probably a suspension and a fine, but that was just unbelievable that could happen on national TV.
There was a lot of ticky-tacky fighting. These two were, I'm like, okay, we got a bench clearer. I mean, those are fun to watch, but I'm sure it doesn't really advance the game much. It's fun to watch. Jalen Hurts, though, that guy is a class act. And so, you just got to try to.
I
keep
hate
your-
the Cowboys so much, and I have
I
Jalen
do
and
too.
Saquon on fantasy teams, so I was pretty happy. Although, you guys would probably admit that the second half was not nearly as entertaining as the
No.
first half. The first half
I
was
lost
really
interest,
good,
yeah.
and then there was a weather delay, which kind of kicked things a little later than expected. So the Chiefs play the Chargers tonight. They are slight favorites in Sao Paulo, Brazil. It should be a very interesting game. You got Mizzou in action against KU tomorrow.
Go Mizzou!
That one's going to be a huge game.
That is a huge because you can't
It's
lose
gonna
that
be
one,
fun.
right?
Well, there's just so much interest. I mean, we're going down, and then they've got ticket prices are through the roof. There's a million people.
Are you going?
It's a pre-homecoming.
You go tomorrow?
Yep. I'm
Yeah,
going.
I haven't decided. Sometimes
And I don't even want to
I'll
hear
slip
rock
in.
talk. I mean, that's just crazy talk.
I don't
Well,
think
okay.
I don't think you'll hear it.
So you guys know, have you been to a game here in the last few years where they do the Mr. Brightside thing?
I have
Yes.
not.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
so you are aware of it, Jane. So what they
Yes.
do is they play, and this is not unique to Mizzou. The one part is not unique, where they play the Killers' Mr. Brightside, which has kind of taken on a new life of its own with a younger generation. It's a great song.
Seriously.
It's become an anthem at a lot of these games. But what happens
And at
is
weddings.
they all, and I'm not a fan of this, mainly because
I hate it too.
all right,
I
so
can't
the
stand when they
whole
do it.
student section at one point says FKU, right? Now, Sean, it's just ridiculous because we don't even
Oh.
really have the rivalry anymore.
We do.
Now, having said,
We need
It
to
hasn't
keep it
gone
going.
away,
having
man. We're
said
ready.
that,
I still hate KU.
No,
Right.
I don't even like people that go to KU. I'm like, that's my response when they tell me they go to KU. I go, I'm sorry.
somebody
Exactly.
at one point asked me on Facebook years ago, Mark, what would you say if one of your kids decided they wanted to go to KU? I'm like, well, they wouldn't have to be part of my family anymore. I mean, that's
Right.
basically what it is. I'm not,
They're on their
but
own.
I will say that I have a lot of curiosity about tomorrow because I'd almost like to be in the building when they do the FKU part tomorrow because it will finally
No,
fit.
it's gonna
It-
be so
It hasn't
fun.
made any sense
it's gonna be.
whatsoever, but
I
tomorrow.
support it, by the way.
Well, we've had basketball, we've had it going, but I love it because it's so disorienting to the teams that are, you have Texas there and they go do it and it'll be the KU. deal.
FKU,
I mean,
right.
those
I
guys
know.
in the SEC
Well,
are
look, the-
confused. They don't know and that's what makes it wonderful. I just think it's hilarious.
No,
It's like,
let
we
the-
remember you,
Let the kids be kids. And yeah, I'm glad that my generation has not forgotten the
but I'm not
KUMU.
endorsing that kind of behavior at games. I don't
Well,
think
I
that's
kind of do.
appropriate, so.
I mean,
I'm excited to get just football that it's back. And unfortunately, the flip side of this, and I was talking about this week, is I've kind of backed off baseball almost altogether. It's just, been so disappointing,
been
and I don't really
forced.
have an interest in other teams. Yeah, and that stadium is going to be pretty empty here over the course of the next few weeks. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Jane, you're going to hang out a little bit, right?
I am.
Mr. Ed Rohde, good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks
Great
for
to
having me
have
back.
you in here. And Sean Flower, the mayor of Eureka. I might even see you that morning. Mark Cox is going down on Thursday, September 11th for the Focus Marines Foundation. He's live doing his show out there at Chicken Ellie's. I know that you're probably going to stop by
Yeah,
and
come on
be a
down.
guest, so we might see you next Thursday. Thank you, Sean Flower.
Hey.
We'll have Paul Hall with entertainment, Cusumano, Brian Kilmeade after 5 o'clock tonight. It's all still to come, plus an audio cut of the day.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
You know what? It's not a bad commute right now. If you are leaving town and leaving downtown, it's not so bad. Westbound 70, some moderate volume at Jennings Station Road, a little heavy through there. And then it opens up and doesn't really slow again until between 79 and pockets out through Wentzville. Even a little bit past there, there's a slow pocket in Wright City. But westbound 6440, it's just moderate volume, Kings Highway out through McCausland, again at 270, and then Winghaven out through 70. And just moderate volume southbound 270, Page down through Doherty Ferry. I'm Sue Thomas, and that's traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I feel like it's been a decade, and it probably has been a decade, that I have professed my ignorance of cryptocurrency. Sue and I can relate to this because something will happen in the news, and there'll be a story about Bitcoin, and then we say we don't get it. How does it work? How does it get mined? Why is there just a limited amount of Bitcoin? All of these questions and more can be handled by the expert, and the expert is Bitcoin Ben. Ben is an awesome dude. He was a truck driver. He is from St. Louis. He started getting very curious years ago about crypto, became very informed and knowledgeable, started doing YouTube videos. They took off. Now he's starting clubs all across the country. There's one in Nashville. There's one in Vegas. There's a couple in Florida. The new club is coming to right here in St. Louis. Bitcoin Ben wants everyone to have a chance at this once-in-a-lifetime generational wealth. So if you want to find out more, I'm going to keep you posted on all of this that's coming up here in the next few weeks. BitcoinBen.io to find out more about the St. Louis Club, about Bitcoin Ben TV, about Private Key Capital, all coming this fall. Again, The website is bitcoinben.io. You can also call 941-413-6920 and stay tuned for more information about the new club.
Make the most of fall and have an outdoor space that you actually love that's built to last. Lakeside Renovation and Design builds custom decks, screened-in porches, covered patios, and they use these durable, low-maintenance materials like composite decking and aluminum railings. They're going to make sure you have the perfect setup so you can host your family and friends for backyard barbecues or just sit outside and enjoy the morning coffee even when it's raining. Don't wait until the spring to start planning the space that you want to enjoy next year. Start with a free consultation. Visit lakesiderd.com, lakesiderd.com.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Land Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, healthcare, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Get ready to step back in time and admire some of the coolest cars in town while supporting our local veterans. Enter your beauty on wheels for a chance to win trophies or just stop by and admire these iconic rides. It's the Kaufman Fund's inaugural Heroes Appreciation Car Show, Sunday, September 14th, 9 to 3:30 at the Bonnin Towers parking lot in Town and Country. For details and to register your ride, visit thekaufmanfund.org. Rev your engines for our veteran heroes.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
The Department of War makes a comeback. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Trump just signing an executive order to change the name Department of Defense, given after World War II, back to the Department of War, named by George Washington.
I think it sends a message of victory. I think it sends really a message of strength. We're very strong. We're much stronger than anyone would really understand.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, or Secretary of War, says it's part of a culture change, restoring a warrior ethos. The president says they'll put the change before Congress, though he also questions whether approval from lawmakers is really needed. The U.S. sending 10 F-35 fighter jets to Puerto Rico, adding to a buildup of forces the Venezuelan government has objected to, sending 2 of its military aircraft over a U.S. Navy ship after a deadly strike on what the U.S. called a drug boat from Venezuela.
I just think it's strong. We're strong on drugs. We don't want drugs killing our people. I believe we lost 300,000. You know, they always say 95, 100,000. I believe they've been saying that for 20 years. I believe we lost 300,000 people last year.
The Venezuelan leader has accused the U.S. of plotting to oust him. President Trump critical of President Maduro's claim of re-election last year. But reporters just asking him about the possibility of regime change. The president said the U.S. is not talking about that. More than 1 million immigrants from Venezuela and Haiti can remain in the U.S., at least for now, under the temporary legal protections granted by the Biden administration. A federal judge ruling the current Homeland Security chief exceeded her authority by reversing extensions of that. President Trump says security guarantees aimed at helping to end the war in Ukraine remain in the works.
Europe wants to see it end, and it'll end. It'll end all of a sudden. It's going to come together. You watch.
Earlier this week, multiple European nations pledging troops for a future reassurance force. America is listening to Fox News.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She could get a deal. Book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit Pfizerforall.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
We have another cool front on the way, and we'll see a few showers around this evening and overnight, but the core rain is getting pushed to our south, southern Missouri, southern Illinois, so not a big factor for us. Partly cloudy skies will dominate right around 70 this evening, 54 for the low. What a weekend on the way. The first weekend of September, Saturday, sunny and nice, 77, 54 Saturday night. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
This hour of the Mark Reardon Show is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Your trees deserve the best care. Call Gamma Tree Experts. This is the Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Jane, I think you might have seen this on social media, but just in case, guess who turns 1 year old today already? My grandson in Houston.
He is not a year old.
He's a year old today. Idris Reardon is 1 year old today on Friday, September 5th.
He is so cute.
He looks bigger too.
Yeah,
well,
he has grown.
He's like in the 98th percentile of height, not of weight.
Wow.
I did put, you can follow me at Mark Talk on Instagram, and on Instagram stories, they're down in Houston. They went with this. It's kind of weird because they went with this the Western theme.
I saw your son with a cowboy hat, and I thought, what's happening?
I
know, right?
I said the same thing. Yeah, my son,
It's
who's the
hilarious.
father, has this cowboy hat on. They just did. You know, I guess I'm a terrible parent because when my kids were little, the ones that are adults right now, and even with Alexa, it's almost like federal law that when you get to like the 1 year birthday or whatever, you have to have the official photo session and everything has to be like all the families said. We never did that. I mean, we did pictures of Alexa, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But now it's like
There was not a theme?
If you don't have the theme, if you don't have the pictures taken and you don't post them, man, you're off the list, I think. So
I
did
did
a little
theme for the first one. The second one I didn't.
they did a Western theme and they all got cowboy boots and stuff like that. Fred's looking like, what are you talking about? You wait till you have grandkids. You're going to see this.
Well,
You'll see
that
what
came
happens.
up when we're going to the beach for our week vacation starting on Monday. And one of the people we're going with said, "Oh, let's all get white shirts and pose for a picture on the beach."
Right.
I
That
said,
always
no,
Yeah.
no.
It'd be like
Oh
that
no,
episode
we
of
do
Modern
that every
Family.
family vacation. There is garb but you know what? Then afterwards you say, okay, it was kind of cool. But yeah.
But it does show you, you know, and I'll talk to Evan tonight. You know, we all say it, and you're like, man, a year already.
No, that's
went by.
crazy.
It really
I would
is.
not have. I didn't even think of it.
Yep. So happy birthday
I had
to
Oreo.
Idris
Oreo
down.
on the mind.
Well, Oreo's a year and a half already now.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I put another video up last night of
Oh, I
him
saw
with
him.
Max. The puppy and him are fine. They get along. Oreo's not intimidated by that dog.
That's
He
awesome.
don't care. It's like Honey Badger don't give a you know what. It's like that with my bunny. All right. So what did
All
you
right.
bring us
Yeah,
this
speaking
afternoon?
of Oreos,
Okay, speaking
Yeah,
of Oreo.
nice segue,
All right.
Ethan. Good job.
I have acquired.
Oh, the
Thank
real
you.
deal.
Okay, and yeah, give one to Mark, give one to Ethan.
I'm not gonna.
Okay, you
You're
got to
not?
explain this. You got
Okay.
to set this up.
Well, first
It's
of
okay,
all,
I'll
there
have
is
Sue's.
like like
I'm
really
counting on you.
intense packaging. Okay.
All right, wait, let me set this up a
Yeah,
little better.
that's true.
A couple of weeks ago, I found a story that was in the Wall Street Journal. It was really interesting, and I talked about it a little bit on the air. It talked about how the company that owned Oreos and the company that owned Reese's were trying to do this collaboration.
Right.
And it was really kind of like the Manhattan
Was it
Project
that
of
Sue's
cookies,
news?
because
Yeah, that was Sue's news.
well, you may have mentioned it in Sue's News, but I talked about the story that was in the Wall Street Journal. So, and I read part of the
That's
story.
true.
And the point was, it was very difficult because of
Execute.
proprietary secrets to actually get it to the shelves. Well, now they've made it to the shelves. So last week we thought, let's try these, but we had the imitation
I had
ones, right?
just the plain peanut butter Oreo, which was
I thought
also
they were good.
Yeah,
They're all
that
right.
was good. It wasn't the apple pie a la mode, but it was good.
I missed a terrible.
And
Oh,
so
you missed a lot of
now-
fun last week. Yeah,
now
you
I
did.
have the neat guy. It's
This
like
is the
double
official.
packaged.
Right.
Yeah. So
Now, you guys tasted
yes, and
the
see,
imitation, so
Yes.
let's see how this compares.
Here we go.
Let's see here.
Nothing better than just
Is it
chewing
better?
on
Fred's
a microphone.
happy.
Oh yeah.
I can
It-
tell
it
the
tastes
difference.
like Reese's.
It tastes exactly
Wow.
like Reese's.
Dang.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good too.
The other
Yeah.
one is just peanut butter,
Yeah.
which was good. This is Reese's.
Yeah.
No
So you
question.
really?
All that effort was worth it. I
Spot
think it was
on.
pretty good.
Yep.
Okay, now I'm not going to tell you what this Oreo is.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Ethan,
This is
here's
an
what I'll
ear-
tell you about
This
last
is an
week.
Oreo.
She brought the apple pie a la mode
We have
ones.
to eat them at the same
I
time.
love those. Those, yeah,
Ooh,
apple.
I don't know.
I'm telling you, really good, really
They were
good.
pretty good.
All right,
Got it.
Here, give one to Ethan.
let's see here.
Man, that
You
was
want
pretty
one?
good.
Yeah. I'll
Okay,
take
so
one.
this is a
pretty good.
golden Oreo, but you're not going to tell us
I'm
what's
not
in
going
it.
to tell, and I want you guys to taste, and then I
Alright.
want people to guess as to what it is. Can you guess?
I'm smelling.
It's more along the lines of the apple pie, isn't it?
Pumpkin? Wait.
Maybe there's a little pumpkin spice. Is that what it is?
Mhm.
No,
I don't know.
it's not. Anybody have a guess?
That's the
No,
best I
It
can do.
tastes very close to just golden Oreos, honestly.
Yeah,
Okay,
to me it
well,
does too.
This,
Wait, no, there's something else in there.
Yeah.
What?
I thought it was a little pumpkin. I'm,
No.
I'm with
No,
that. No.
it's,
All right, what is it?
it is cinnamon bun.
Oh.
I said cinnamon, didn't I?
Yeah, but there was no pumpkin.
Oh,
There's no-
you know what though?
You didn't say bun.
Now that you say that,
Okay.
that's really good.
Now I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Now the last one I have for today,
Okay, I like that one.
and I've got there will be more. I mean, you can't exhaust the amount of Oreos there are in life. Okay, so all right, this
Ooh,
one.
I like that. That really. Now that I know what it is, I think
You
it's
like it?
You're a little cautious when you're not exactly
Yeah,
sure, but
that's
yeah, I
it,
liked it a lot.
Ethan,
I
Fred.
wish we had milk though.
I know. You know what I thought about
Fred,
that.
I know.
you should be the person responsible for milk.
Let me run out to
Oh,
the car.
so-
Yeah.
Hold on.
Interesting. So this one's like a
This one's
half and
chocolate,
half.
but with it looks like
Something else.
yeah.
little bit
okay.
of both.
Can people hear us crunching when
They
we're crunching?
100% can.
I totally can.
It's good for it.
All right, I
What do we
like this
think?
one. Anybody got a guess? I don't know.
It's not the top for me.
It's not your favorite.
Mm-mm.
I like it, but I don't know what it is.
It's fine, but I wouldn't buy it again.
All right, what is it?
Selena Gomez, cinnamon.
Oh, the
I
cinnamon.
really liked that. That was really good. I
It's
like that
cinnamon.
more than the cinnamon bun.
It's okay. It's subtle. I like the other
I
one
think
better.
it's more cinnamony than the cinnamon
Mhm.
bun.
I agree.
But it
I
doesn't
really
taste
like
as good
that.
with the chocolate, I don't think.
Well, good, then you
big
can
fan.
take them.
Big fan.
But the Reese's, they are fire.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, they are.
They are fire. Now, I'm still a la mode. Apple pie a la mode is still number one, but this is a
That's
close
crazy
second.
to me. I'm struggling to process that.
Have you tasted it?
No.
Oh, it's good.
Obscene.
It's really good. I
was shocked that I
since
liked it as much.
Alexa declared when I brought them home, I don't like apple pie, so she didn't even try one. I'm like, good, I'll take.
I'll eat them all.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys all like the Reese's more than the peanut butter?
Yes.
Everyone did.
I think.
yours?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just because I mean, it's exactly like eating a Reese's. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it's hard to.
What do you think they do to the peanut butter that makes it taste so much like Reese's? That was their big thing, right? We have
Right.
to have these taste exactly like.
And they, yeah.
And
they
It was
did,
hard.
and they
It was hard to
did
come
it.
up with the and
It's
there were only a handful
proprietary.
of people that knew about the whole thing. That's why they referred to it in that Wall Street Journal piece as like the Manhattan Project of snacks.
It is because you
That's
know
a
what? We
good way
don't
to
know
put
what
it.
Reese's does. That was the whole point. And
Yeah.
the regular peanut butter didn't do it. So
right.
there's
Wow.
clearly something that makes the Reese's the Reese's.
Let me take you into a different food category here and see what you think about this, because we all like lists, right? And I
Mhm.
found this one on the Washington Post website yesterday. And does everyone in here, let's start with this question. Do you do a frozen pizza from time to time? I do,
yes.
right? Fred, you do a
Yes.
frozen pizza?
I go full on Totino's.
Jack's.
You like
pizza
Jack's pizza?
for the win.
Sue?
I not for a long time, but yes, every now and then.
Only when
Okay.
Marie's out of town.
That's fair.
We
Yeah,
do a
that's a
fair
bachelor
number.
food.
We do a fair number because of
Yep.
Alexa, and I tend to
Oh,
like
good
the.
point.
I get the Dogtown pizzas.
Yeah, those
which,
are pretty good.
You know, I don't even think there is a Dogtown pizza like location. But
No. It's just a
they
pizza
have
that they
them
have
at
in local
Walmart
stores.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that. All right, so the Washington Post. Now, why they did 11, I don't know, but they had blind taste tests for frozen pizzas, and they sampled 11 top brands. A couple of these I was unfamiliar with, so they might be a little bit more regional, but I'm going to count them down for you here. And I guess they did it because they wanted to keep it even. And I think this is weird, though, because I would never just get, I know kids do this and Alexa does. These are just cheese pizzas, right? And they didn't do, there's no toppings on them.
Pizza
So I
in its
guess,
simplest form.
right.
Right.
They wanted to keep it simple. So
Dave
number 11,
Portnoy.
Come on.
Trader Joe's Organic 3 cheese pizza was number 11.
No.
I've never had that one
No.
before.
You won't. No. It's
No,
not.
You say
it's
no?
not good.
No.
Jane
Really?
said no.
No.
All right.
You've
we
had
got
it?
Yeah. No.
We got the buzzer
Wow.
there.
All right.
They,
Oh,
Trader
very
Joe's does
emphatic.
some things well, but like nobody wants like granola goofy pizza.
Number
Go.
10, Great Value, which is
Can't argue
Walmart
that.
Thin and Crispy 4 cheese pizza.
Don't know that.
That's a, like a bargain brand. That was number 10. Number 9, Jack's Original Thin Cheese Pizza.
Yeah.
Pure slander at number 9.
Wow, you think that's a
Disrespect.
slight?
Disrespect.
People notice the ultra thin crust off the bat, with one giving it the distinction of being the thinnest in the bunch. And that seemed at first blush like a good thing, but it didn't offer the payoff that they hoped for. It looked crispy, but actually quite chewy.
Get out.
Lamented one
Ooh.
taster. All right, number 8, California Pizza Kitchen Crispy Thin 4-crust pizza.
Here's the
or
thing.
4
Pretty
cheese
good.
pizza.
It's too expensive though.
It is.
I
I
like
agree.
the real, but the frozen, I realize frozen isn't going to be as good, but that's disappointing.
Yeah.
Their
Yeah.
specialty frozen pizzas are really good though. They have some.
They're
they have some
pretty
unique ones, though.
expensive
They
for
are
what you
expensive.
get.
They are expensive.
Agreed.
In my opinion.
We have a time for number 6, ladies and gentlemen. The Red Baron Classic Crust 4 cheese pizza comes in along with the Tombstone Original Crust 5 cheese pizza, trying to up the ante
okay.
there
It's
with
not
5
DiGiorno.
I
different
like the
cheeses.
Red Baron.
Not DiGiorno.
Interesting you said that. Just hang on. Number 5, Freschetta Naturally Rising Crust 4 cheese pizza was number 5 on the Washington Post list. This one I was not familiar with the brand. You guys know Screamin' Sicilian?
No.
No.
The packaging is interesting.
I
kinda
think
like
somebody
it's
like
fun.
that lives in my neighborhood.
No, I think no doubt about that. Number 4 is Screamin' Sicilian Thin and Crispy Cheese Pizza. Number 3, Kirkland Signature Cheese Pizza. That's you get that at Costco.
I've not tried that.
Yeah, so when you're waiting in gas for an hour
It
to
was good
take,
at samples when you walk through.
Well, I love a good sample.
but if
Yeah.
you're waiting to get gas to take 3 pennies
Yeah,
off
that's
of a gallon for 45 minutes,
Yeah.
maybe you can swing in and get a Kirkland pizza. Number 2, 365 says Whole Foods Thin Crust 4 cheese pizza, as opposed to the earlier one. And then number one, it's not delivery.
It's
DiGiorno.
The DiGiorno Classic Crust Cheese Pizza.
Classic crust.
Number
Absolutely.
1 on this list. And they
Wow.
said, by the way, they had a group of people, but they said, all in all, that was the clear winner. Even after a long taste test, some still found it irresistible. So
Yes.
that's pretty good. And by the way, that's like $5 at Walmart.
I mean,
So-
and
Really?
it fills you up.
Yeah.
Like it's not a weenie pizza.
Is this the one that puffs up? What's the thing? with
DiGiorno does
DiGiorno?
can puff up. Sometimes
Okay.
they have the cheese filled crust. You can go with that. They
Ah.
have many versions of the DiGiorno, but the and my
My
daughter
goodness.
does the
Wow,
cheese.
you're an
Jane's a
expert.
Yeah,
savant
she's
with
an
frozen
expert. I
pizza.
know.
Holy
Yeah, no,
cow.
well, no, DiGiorno is like the number one. I got to tell you.
Ethan, it's just like Fred sometimes. We peel back the layers and we find
Right.
different things out from Jane.
And I'm like
My
a foodie.
goodness.
I'm like a weird foodie.
Some things are quite frightening, like this one. I
And
know what
Peep-
I'm
I
having.
almost got you Peep cereal. Be glad I didn't. all
Yeah.
right? It was in
Here's
the
what I'll
cart.
tell you tonight. You know what I'm having tonight? I'm going to watch the Chiefs game with a Dogtown pizza and Oreo Reese's. That's what I've
Woo!
decided.
Oh, you're
Executive
taking my
decision.
Reese's?
Sue's
Okay.
News is coming up.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Not a bad Friday overall, but we do have some volume out there. It's not that bad out west. Okay. If you are westbound on 6440, moderate volume, and this is Kings Highway through the Interbound, then you get a break and there's slow pockets from Highway N out through the 70 split. 70, there was an accident reported. Now, this one was eastbound really near Salisbury, and that jammed up traffic on the McKinley Bridge. But westbound 70, just moderate volume, Jennings Station Road and at Highway K and in pockets out through Wentzville. Eastbound is actually a little slow, headed for Wentzville. Southbound 270, moderate volume, and this is Page down through Doherty Ferry, and 44 is pretty slow right at 270. We had an accident reported southbound 270 south of there that may be to blame. I'm Sue Thomas, and that's traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
And she'll be back in just a couple of minutes with a Friday edition of Sue's News. Let me spread some good word about the Retirement Advisor Group. They're the official financial planners of this show, also Mark's and Annie's. And we get together 5 times a year with Thomas and his nephew and his nephew's wife as well, Bob Kershaw and Tammy Kershaw. And we talk about a different strategy to take you into retirement or to keep you in retirement where you have enough money coming in. That is no easy, deal these days, especially with inflation. Now, the stock market's been rocking a little bit. We were in correction territory not too long ago, and you don't know what's going to happen. We had jobs numbers today that weren't as positive as were expected. So as we head into 2026 and beyond, what's going to happen with your retirement savings? Thomas and the team would love to guide you through, again, a different strategy than you're used to. And the secret, the key is to safely linking to the market. So if you'd like to find out more, we'll keep you posted on the next seminar coming up in a few weeks. 314-993-9494 for Thomas Helbig and the Retirement Advisory Group, the website, retirementkey.com.
It's summertime, and that heat can play havoc on your plants and trees in your yard. Mark Cox here from my friends at Hanson's Tree Service. Give them a call. They will send a certified arborist to your yard to set up a plant health care strategy. They can help you with trees that might have a bug problem or a disease. Plus, they can deliver mulch directly to your driveway in most cases. Just go online to hansonstree.com or call them at 636-379-1830.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-586-4040. 800-586-4040. 800-586-4040.
We know there's a lot that can go on during one night of baseball. Long home runs, epic pitching performances, catches that defy space, time, and gravity.
Climbing the wall! Did he catch it? He did!
But what if you could get all of that summarized in a quick, concise, and at least we think, funny podcast that's under 10 minutes? Check out MLB.com's morning lineup. It runs Monday through Friday mornings on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you love listening most.
Reardon's back. Smarter talk for the Show Me State. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
It is a Friday afternoon. We still have plenty to go here on the Mark Reardon Show. I'm very excited because the one, the only, the legendary Kenny Wallace is going to join us in the next hour.
How about old Fred Bottenheimer over there, ladies and gentlemen?
And this is, yeah, there you go.
Ain't that great?
It is. I miss him. I have not talked to Kenny. Actually, and I'll mention this on the air, but when I was in the throngs of the mental health crisis, Kenny was one of those people that I called and reached out to, not only as someone who might have some resources and know some people who might be professionals, but just as a guy who is so positive and can talk you off the ledge sometimes. So we'll visit with him. We got a big NASCAR race in town. He's racing down in Peevely tonight, which should be fun.
It.
Sue, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it here.
These allegations are deeply concerning.
Does the president have any comment?
We're not going to comment.
It's not clear messaging.
No.
And now, Sue's News. Brought to you by Sue.
Well, I guess you can already guess that it's National Cheese Pizza Day based on Mark Serrano. It's also National Lazy Moms Day.
Oh, when does that get to happen?
Thank you. Nobody ever.
Okay, so now, well, I've missed the whole day. I have not been lazy today.
Yes. Well, you got tonight.
Okay,
That's good news. And National Be Late for Something Day.
Oh, I'm really good at that.
Jane lives that every day. Are you kidding me? Congratulations.
Okay. One time.
I have a reputation for that as well, though. I can be. I mean, I'm on time for the show typically, but in the rest of my life, there may be tardiness issues that crop up from time to time.
It's hard.
Just telling the truth.
Fred, you're probably good at that.
I'm pretty much on time.
Yep, of course.
Time means something to me.
Wow.
As an executive producer.
Wow.
I live by the
Mark,
minute.
that makes you and I.
It's
just,
so funny
we're
because
heathens.
well, we were Ed Rody and I were sitting in the green room, which we really don't have, but I'll
No.
call it the green room. It's my
Sure.
office, and
With your
it's-
drinks.
It's like
Yeah.
a quarter. He gets here at 2:30. You know why, Fred? Because you told him when to get here, and he listened to you.
2:45.
And then it's 2:45, and he's like, "Where's everybody?" I'm like, "Oh, they walk in like pretty much right at 3:00." That's why Fred freaks out. But yeah,
I mean,
it
Rody
happens.
is always on time.
He was early.
That's
he was.
impressive. On this day in history, 119 years ago, that would make it 1906, Bradbury Robinson of St. Louis University threw the first forward pass in football.
Hey,
How about
I didn't
that?
know we were famous for that.
I
pretty
did
cool.
not either.
Yeah.
Fred, you did.
I
huh?
knew that, but I wonder what did we do until then?
I don't know.
I mean, backwards passes? I don't know.
Laterals?
How do you
Yeah.
come up with,
Laterals?
how do you come up with
Handoffs?
the game without a forward pass? So
Maybe they
that's-
just did running.
okay.
Yeah. And on this day, this has music and it could be long. 39 years ago, in 1986, Dire Straits' Money for Nothing won the MTV Award for Video of the Year. Can we all picture it right now?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, absolutely.
It's
And it's
amazing.
well deserved, I would say.
Yeah.
I
also.
mean, yeah, and you just can't replace the way you feel about songs because of the video. And it's sad that we don't have it anymore because I think it evokes
Agreed.
so much.
You have artists do music videos. You just don't really. You have to go
That's
search them out on YouTube.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
is a shame because, I mean, MTV should be music television.
Yeah.
Well, they stopped doing that a long,
They
long
really
time
did.
ago.
It's sad. I feel sorry for this generation who doesn't have it.
But you're right about that, Jane. I mean, when you think about a video, it evokes something in your thought, and that's how you feel about that song pretty much
Forever.
from then ever.
We all know where we were when
Yeah.
Thriller came. I mean, I remember where I was when I watched Thriller.
I do too. And you know, Dire Straits.
Hang on, we got to hit the post here.
Okay.
Here's Mark Knopfler.
Look at them yo-yos. That's the way you do
I
it.
just had to do that. Sorry.
I understand. And of course, you know, it was Sting singing in the intro there. I want my MTV.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I want
Uh-huh.
my MTV.
Wait, Fred, you didn't.
No.
Come on.
No.
Yeah, but he
Really?
knew about Bradbury Robinson.
Well, I know,
Yeah,
so he's got to
yeah.
get
That's
points
right.
for that. How did
Yeah.
you not know that was Sting?
He did a newsletter about it.
Good of you.
Yeah. I remember, Fred.
Thank you.
I'm throwing this in because Jane is here, and I believe we agree on this. AARP. I'm sorry to have to say that, but anyway, they ranked Idris Elba as the hottest actor over 50.
Okay, now I agree with Arp.
Yep. And he's followed by Pedro Pascal at number 2 and Noah Wiley in third. But
Oh,
Is
as
Noah
Noah Wiley making a
Wiley.
comeback just because he's got that show on
I
Max
think
called
so.
The Pit?
Now,
I think
Come
so.
on.
now, do you think Idris is sitting at home saying, "Wow, that's a great honor,"
Yeah,
or is he saying, "Oh, great, the old ladies love
Yeah,
me"?
probably both.
I don't know.
Take
Yeah.
it to the
but
bank.
we do love you, Idris. You're beautiful.
Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather have signed up for an exhibition fight this spring.
Oh, boy.
boy.
Are they going to
There's-
throw grills at each other?
There's no word on exact date or location, just giving you a heads up. And in science news this week, this is wild. A team in China figured out how to make glow-in-the-dark plants. They injected succulents with the same compound used in glow-in-the-dark toys and said it could be used on larger plants to, quote, imagine glowing trees replacing streetlights.
That is not. That's kind of cool. But so does
Also-
it come back? Like, is it always glowing forever?
I do not know.
Okay, so we need some more.
I'd have a
we
hard
need-
time thinking that would happen.
I'm thinking that if it's like a glow-in-the-dark toy, it has to have sunshine
Right.
to juice itself up, and then.
But then it will. So it's sort of like a solar thing.
yes,
I could.
very
You know what?
yes.
I could be for that.
Uh-huh.
I'm actually kind of surprised we haven't tried that before. They haven't done that in more of a
I
generalized
mean, we have
form.
solar everything
Right.
to put in your yard.
You're right. Why not
I
a
mean-
glowing tree?
Yeah.
And in robotics, researchers taught a robot dog how to play badminton. What? One science writer described it as being really good, but it maxed out at just 10 shots in a row before it missed. Why are we having dogs, robot dogs, play badminton?
Okay, so there's not really an
There's
application for
nothing.
that. So
Zero.
I don't know. Do a human robot that plays badminton.
Ah.
Do a human that plays badminton.
Well,
I mean,
that's
there
it.
are barely any humans that do that
That's
anymore,
true.
right?
Oh, and in parenting news, a study found kids with helicopter parents have a harder time when they leave home and face life on their own.
Duh.
Mildly stressful things are more likely to seriously stress them out. Duh.
Duh.
All right, there is a story out today. Wait, let me talk about this first. In TV over the weekend and streaming, tonight on Apple TV Plus, Spike Lee's Highest to Lowest, starring Denzel Washington.
Ooh,
now,
all right.
he is a record producer who plans to buy back control of his label are disrupted when ASAP Rocky tries to kidnap his son.
Okay.
So it's one of those.
We'll see if Paul has seen that when he joins us here in a few minutes.
That's
Yeah.
like Taken plus
Uh-huh.
plus what
Yes.
was the show with what was the show
Kidnapped and the ID, I can't remember.
the record company show? I can't remember.
Yeah, I
what
can't
was
either.
that one? Okay.
And
Yeah.
then Sunday, of course, at 8:15 Eastern, 7:15 our time, is Sunday Night Football with the Bills and the Ravens. That'll be fun.
Yep.
Okay, here's our...
There's another show, maybe Paul's going to mention it. There's a show that's on Max that starts this weekend that's got a good cast, but we'll see.
I don't want to take all Paul. I know
he'll
Fred
mention
sent
that in a few
me
minutes.
what he was doing, and I'm trying to not do the same thing. A crime-fighting nun in Pittsburgh is in the news after she chased down a thief last month. Sister Mary Madeline runs a shop called Sacred Heart of Jesus that sells books and religious art. A customer set their purse down, and a woman there ran up and stole the credit card. So Mary chases the woman down the street, gave her a talking to, and got the cards back.
Amen,
You
sister.
go, girl.
I love that.
She said she's dealt with thieves before and always tells them, God loves you,
Oh,
but give me the credit cards back.
Right.
I can see her TV show now, None But the Bravest.
See?
Oh, Fred.
Wow.
There he is again.
Oppenheimer over there, ladies and gentlemen.
And finally, in Sue's news, we have today's random fact. Listen to this. The USPS made stamps with the Statue of Liberty in 2011, but the picture they used was of the Statue of Liberty outside New York. The one, they used the one from Vegas, the New York Cusumano.
Wait.
Yes.
Oh, my Lord.
Now, it's not clear if
No
this was an
words.
accident or they just used it because it was a better picture. But in any event, because they used a replica Lady Liberty, they had to shell out $3.5 million for copyright infringement.
That's unbelievable.
Doesn't
Wow.
that just pretty much say it all?
I
in
mean-
one
About your federal
story?
government,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
well,
Yeah.
or at least the poor postal
I don't
service
even know
currently.
what to say about that.
That is outstanding. That's a good random fact. There's no doubt about that. We'll go out here with a little money for nothing. We're coming back with Paul Hall on entertainment.
I'm Chad Robinson with Your Money Now. The average rate on the 30-year fixed-rate mortgage dropped 16 basis points to 6.29%, according to Mortgage News Daily, following the release of a weaker-than-expected August jobs report. It marks the biggest one-day drop since August of last year. Rates are finally breaking out of the high 6% range where they've been stuck for months. A watchdog report released yesterday reveals a jailed former FBI counterintelligence official tipped off a Chinese firm with business ties to James and Hunter Biden that it was under investigation. The 23-page Inspector General's report asserts Charles McGonigal told an associate of the China Energy Fund Committee that the company was under FBI investigation. On Wall Street, stocks were lower to close the week, with the Dow falling 220 points. The S&P and NASDAQ were off slightly. Crude oil futures for October are down more than 2%, under 62 a barrel. That's Your Money Now.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like
free money at Download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code COOL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code COOL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hey, Alex Rosenberger, my friend from Master Cars Inc. in Granite City, is going to join us in the next hour. We always like to highlight the weekend of a really cool classic car show, Kicks on 66. So he will be with me in a little less than an hour. But I want to bring up what he does and he and his father do at Master Cars Inc. It's a used car dealership with new car caliber, and they've been around Granite City for a long time. I've been in the office, for example, when Alex is on an auction to get a used vehicle, and he's, trying to look for something. I remember when we were looking for something for my son in particular. Was that the right vehicle? Was it in the right price point? You get to a certain point in the auction, and Alex, as a professional and someone who has a lot of experience, says, nope, you're getting past the point of comfort there. So they're experts. They know what the prices should be. They know really good mint caliber condition vehicles. They'll buy one from you if you have a great condition vehicle. They deal with lots of Harleys and motorcycles and Corvettes. They're the Corvette Kings here in St. Louis as well. But it's not just fancy cars. It can be your everyday car as well. Master Cars Inc. in Granite City. Tell them that I sent you along. MasterCarsInc.com.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
4:33, and this portion of the show is sponsored by our friends at Jerry Kelly Heating and Air.
From Hillsboro to Highland, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Every Friday at this time, we talk entertainment with Paul Hall from Common Guy Films. How about this movie, Conjuring Last Rites?
The devil has come to Pennsylvania.
Dad, there's an evil here. Something I've felt before. This thing in your house is a demon. It's the first one that we ever encountered. We were young. We were scared. We ran away. After all these years, I wasn't done with our family.
I think I called it Conjuring Last Rites. It's The Conjuring Last Rites. This would be a sequel. I didn't catch on to that right away. How are you, Paul Hall?
One of many sequels in the Conjuring series, Mark. I'm doing well for a Friday afternoon.
Yeah, how many are of those movies?
Yeah.
I lost count.
Right,
I
exactly.
Did.
Exactly.
But the thing about the Conjuring movies, and they all come off of Annabelle as well, these are tales that are actually scary for the most part. Almost every time I've sat down with this Conjuring movie, I actually find myself getting creeped out a bit.
Right.
No different here for Conjuring Last Rites. Now, the only problem I have with it is it takes too long to get to the point. It's about 2 hours and 15 minutes long. You get all the principals back, Vera Farmiga, who we love, of course, Mark, and alongside Patrick Wilson, back as Ed and Lorraine Warren. And this is their last case. This is the one with their daughter. We get a little prequel stuff or early stuff, including the birth of their daughter, and the last case. And you get great post-credit scenes that include the real couple, including after the credits roll. There's one more sequence there that is something that most people in the screening that I was at didn't see. So you'll have to sit through to see it. I liked this. I did. I found myself getting creeped out enough. I liked the slow build of it. The graphics on the demons, I guess you could say, as you see them throughout the course of the movie, may turn a lot of people off. And I don't think if you're under 30, this is probably your cup of tea, because of the slowness to it. I think we have a case where there's not a lot of people that are willing to let something develop. If you let it develop, good actors along the way, and good actors always give you something to look at that you'll enjoy. The Conjuring Last Rites for horror fans, I'd say go out and check it out.
And that's a theatrical, right?
That is theatrical. That's the big theatrical this week, because there isn't a whole lot on the near agenda, it seems like, in theaters. And this is probably one of the ones they're hoping you'll come out and see.
All right. What else you got
Okay.
for streaming this weekend? Now, I'm very curious. I mentioned this before the break, and I wasn't sure what the name of it was, but there is a show on HBO that premieres on Sunday night, and it's called Task. Have you seen that one at all?
I haven't seen it quite yet. Mark Ruffalo's in that one.
Yeah.
It looks like it will be something that will garner a good audience. We can talk about it for sure more next week, as it's got a couple episodes to go through, but definitely something to check out this weekend. If you're looking for something that's already there, the Thursday Murder Club is over on Netflix.
Yeah, I'd like to see
Yeah.
that.
I loved it.
Did you?
like it?
Okay, good. Then I want to
Loved
see
it.
it.
But I had read the book. It's a cute series, but the actors are great. I mean, it's Ben Kingsley.
Right.
It's Pierce Brosnan. You got Helen Mirren.
Yep.
It was awesome. Thoroughly
Okay,
enjoyable.
I'm in.
What
That
is it?
is what makes it work. It's
Yes.
those actors that you know, you're familiar with. And think about it this way. It's like a murder mystery podcast, but it's in a senior citizen community. And they get together every Thursday in the room that sometimes hosts jigsaw puzzles. Some days it hosts the Thursday Murder Club, and they dig into a cold case. Well, they end up digging into something that gets beyond cold case. It happens to be current, and it involves them and their place to live. It's quite fun the way it develops. These characters are enjoyable, and they tell a good story along the way. So,
I like that.
all things considered, Thursday Murder Club on Netflix is a very solid movie with actors that we love to see. Check that out right
Look
away.
at Susie in a movie.
Did you,
what
did you
got
see-
into you? You're in the middle of a move, and you're taking time to watch a movie.
She needed a break.
I'm impressed.
I did, but it's because a friend gave me the book. It's a series, and so we had decided when it first came out, when they announced they were doing it, that we would get together on a certain date and watch it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and it was great.
Now, did anybody
Yeah,
watch
definitely.
Hostage on Netflix?
Oh, no, I didn't.
I like it. It's about the female UK Prime Minister and the female Prime Minister of France, President of France, and there is a big problem. And it actually is it's exciting. It's good. It doesn't end in the way that you think it will, which I always like to be surprised. And so I recommend Hostage.
Yeah, I've seen it out there. Is anybody in that we know?
Not really.
Yeah.
That's the kind of cool. They're-
Julie Delpy. is
Yeah,
the
I mean,
name,
it's
but
not. This is not people that you're used to, but they were both very good, and I thought it was a really good effort.
I will recommend a couple of things here this afternoon.
Okay.
And Jane, I'm telling you, if you have Paul, you talked about it last week. Unknown Number, The High School Catfish.
Oh, I mean, it's on the list.
Okay,
but
so
it's too
I want to
mean,
be
it's so
careful. I want to be
disturbing.
careful because for people who do not know the story, I knew the story, and I may have even let a little out of the bag last week unintentionally. It's better if you don't Google it, if you don't know what's going on here. I would not describe this as the most exceptionally executed documentary, but
The
it
story.
will grab you. It's in one part. It's just an hour and 34 minutes. The story of this teenage girl and her boyfriend that are getting harassed from an unknown caller, getting text messages by not only the dozens, but by the hundreds in some cases. And the person responsible will shock you. And then there's even other things in here with the young girl who's the victim. In her reaction, the way she comes out of all this, Paul, I was telling you this via text message yesterday. I think it's bizarre. It really is. But this is another one of those stories. And there's so many good documentaries out there that will just make you shake your head and say, first of all, how did I miss this story in the news? Right.
Right.
Second of all, no way this really happened. And it did.
And it did.
In this movie, they put up all of the text messages, not all of them, but a good portion of the text messages that this young girl gets. And they say from the very beginning of the movie, all of these are real. And when you see the nature, the tone, the abuse that goes on with these text messages, you will be just blown away. So this is one I would recommend only because it's such a crazy, crazy story. This morning, I wrapped up the Spike Lee documentary on Katrina. While I don't always agree with Spike politically, I watched all three parts. Paul, I don't know if you'd agree with this, but part three is almost a standalone. You could watch part 3 without watching the first 2 parts. It kind of stands on its own. It's the only one that Spike directed. I don't think he directed parts 1 and 2, but I thought it was exceptionally well done. And what happened to those people in New Orleans needs to be remembered 20 years later. And I thought they did a good job of reminding us of the horrors in the aftermath of that hurricane.
Yeah, they thought they were in the clear, and they weren't. And the inability to diffuse knowledge to help people.
But it's everything also that happened in the aftermath of the levee breaks and just trying to reestablish portions of New Orleans as homes for people again.
Right.
And how we talked about this a little bit on the roundtable, how so many of them, they moved to Houston. They moved to, other places that were down in the South. They had to get away from New Orleans because they didn't have any place to go or to live, unfortunately. Anything else you got for us this weekend as we head into a big NFL game tonight with a team that you love and a team that I love?
And my team that I love is going to win. But
okay, we'll see about
beyond
the Bolts.
that, let's go with 2 movies that are in theaters that I have to mention before we leave. One, none of you are going to see, but you probably should. The other one, everyone should see, but nobody will.
Okay.
The Threesome is out there. I know, Mark, you're rushing out to see this. It is better than you think it is before you jump down its throat. There are things in here that people are going to have a lot of problems with, but I found myself enjoying a tale that comes out of nowhere as it grows on you throughout. It's a comedy about, obviously, exactly what the title is. 3 people who don't know each other, and they do that one night thing, and of course their lives change forever. And lastly, I saw it again this week. It's still playing for one more week, I believe, out, maybe beyond that. They released a Jaws 50th anniversary version in theaters. It is in theaters now.
Didn't Fred see that?
Fred went to see it. Yeah, he went last week.
What'd you think?
He's not here.
No, I meant what does Paul think?
I thought this was amazing, beyond belief. The video and the way Spielberg redid it and remastered things as far as the visuals you see on screen, it heightens the sense of suspense throughout. It harkens back to movies that don't get made quite like that anymore today. In fact, I took my wife to see it. It was her first time seeing it on the big screen. She was blown away. She had a great time with it. It's still out there now. It's getting good crowds. Go out and see it while you get a chance. It's your chance to get out to the theater and see something that you love and you're going to walk away loving. This fall is going to feature a lot of anniversary editions, including Back to the Future and others. Definitely get out and see Jaws, though, before it gets out of your theater.
So when you refer to that, you're talking about more films like Jaws playing theatrical for their anniversry releases.
Yeah,
that's cool. I like that.
They're coming back for, I think it's 40 on Back to the Future, 30 or 40. They've got Home Alone is going to do a tour of many cities. Again, I think that's 25 there. It's just various anniversaries they're bringing out, and they're doing a remaster, maybe with a little bit of extra stuff involved, and putting it on the big screen. And I think that's what you're going to see. A lot of those come to theaters all fall long and drive you back there.
Wow.
Home Alone has to be like almost, it was 1990. So yeah, we're looking at 35 years.
35,
you
yeah.
said 25.
Wow.
Maybe I misheard you. But that's still such a damn good movie. I wish Chris Columbus wasn't flapping his lips about J.K. Rowling right now, because I think he just came off like an idiot this week. He, of course, directed Home Alone 1 and 2 and a lot of good movies from the 1980s. Paul, tell folks where they can find your reviews.
SimpleCommonGuy.com.
Now with me. Say it along with me. You ready?
Chargers.
No, it was Let's Go Chiefs. Let's go Chiefs. Good luck tonight. We'll see you.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the roads this afternoon, we've seen worse. How about that? And if you are leaving downtown on westbound 70, it looks pretty good. I mean, there are some slow pockets from Highway K out through the 70-64 split. And there is a jam eastbound on 70. There's an accident east of Wright City. That's causing a delay. Westbound 40, a slow go, but it's just approaching Hampton out through McCausland, moderate volume at 270. And then in pockets from 364 on out through the 70-64 split. I'll tell you what has heavy traffic is southbound 270. Now, it's moderate from Page down through Ladue Road, but it really picks up because there's an accident reported near Big Bend, so it starts to jam at the Clayton Road overpass. 55 slowing at Bates, and some moderate volume westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic, and that's traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Do you have a written plan for retirement in place, or have you just been saving and thinking, okay, well, this ought to do it? Oh my gosh, that makes me nervous. This ought to do it is not a strategy. What you have to do is have somebody at least explain to you how things work. Like, you want to know the best thing to do as far as taxes go. How do they work in retirement? What do you do? How are you going to pay for health care? How do you know that that money is going to last? Oh, this is why I like financial and tax architects, because they have helped people in this area for years. And what they do is tell you how things work. You go to a class called Retirement Planning 101, and they kind of walk you through how things work. And then you can get an idea of what's going on and sit down with them if you'd like. And they will come up with a plan specifically for you based on your income, what you've got going forward, and you can then feel solid and good about retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, 314-888-5101, and get started. You'll feel better.
Bold, unapologetic, unfiltered. The Mark Cox Morning Show is covering the issues that matter to you. From borders to school boards, Mark Cox is St. Louis conservative.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
He's not here to play nice. He's here to make you think. Mark Reardon on 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, the NFL season got underway last night with a little saliva incident at the beginning. We have a big game tonight in Sao Paulo, Brazil, with the Chiefs and the Chargers, and Frank Cusumano is going to talk about all that. But he's on site at Norwood Hills Country Club this afternoon for a big tournament, aren't you?
Yes, Stiefel Charity Classic. The first round is in. Mark, I just saw something remarkable. You love golf. I know you appreciate great golf. Stuart Sink, who I think is going to win the tournament, he was on 18, and he was basically like almost on the cart path, okay? And he knocks it to the fringe and then knocks in a putt from 50 feet away. He is your first-round leader at 7 under par. He's unbelievable. He's 6'5", big and strong. He's a great guy. If you get a chance this weekend, this is the guy to follow. He is special.
Well, what's great about a tournament like this is that it doesn't really matter if you're following the leaders or not. You're going to see legends out there, right? You can go to, the guys that are in last place on Sunday and see the final round at the early tee times. You're still going to see people that you know and you recognize and you've, watched play golf for maybe decades.
Exactly. And if you love the game of golf, watching women play and watching the Champions Tour play where the players play where they really don't go after it hard and it's all about tempo. I swear to God, I watched Ernie Els for like an hour yesterday on the range. It was just so beautiful to see that tempo.
Just like my swing, smooth as silk, Frank. Let me tell you, Ernie Els and I have a lot in common. All right, well, let's talk a little football. First of all, the spitting incident last night, just unbelievable, just a sad way to start the NFL season.
It really is. I can't believe Jalen Carter would do something that stupid because he's the best defensive player on the field, either team. And what allowed them to do is the Cowboys looked great and they ran the ball. If Jalen Carter would have been out there the entire game, I guarantee you Dallas would not have scored like they did in the first half.
Yeah, and the first half was really the game. The second half, things really slowed down. There wasn't a lot of offense, and the Cowboys end up getting a loss out of that. Now we get a big game tonight, as I mentioned, in Sao Paulo. The Chiefs, they win 15 games last year. They lose the Super Bowl in in a way that wasn't even close. But look, it's the Chiefs, right? It's the Chargers in a very improved division in the AFC. Anything could happen. A lot of people are picking Denver perhaps to surprise this year. But what are your thoughts as we head into another season with Patrick Mahomes and a leaner, meaner Travis Kelce is what we're hearing from camp. He's slimmed down a bit.
I got a buddy that covers the Chiefs. It's around them a lot. And he said it was like maybe 2 days after the Super Bowl. He was in that locker room, Patrick Mahomes, and leading the troops, that he is as locked in as ever. He doesn't want to give up the title because a lot of people think that Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson have passed him. Look, they only lost one game last season because the last one doesn't count, so they didn't play their starter. I mean, their last season, they lost one game, okay? So they have an offensive tackle that's going to protect Patrick, and a motivated Patrick Mahomes is really scary.
Well, I can't wait. And it's going to be, I'm seeing a couple of notes here for the opening weekend that I guess Christian McCaffrey might be out. It looks like Micah Parsons, who just goes to the Packers from the Cowboys, he would have been playing last night. He's questionable for the game against the Lions this Sunday, which is unfortunate.
Mark, how about the way it's beginning? I mean, the game tonight, then Sunday night, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
Monday night, Chicago Bears and Luther Burden. I mean, I just can't picture. You almost have to be a communist not to watch the NFL this weekend.
I love it. But I will say this. Let me just toss this in because I've really gotten wrapped up, and this happens from time to time, especially over the last 5 years. I really got back into tennis during the COVID years. And we all used to be fans of tennis back in the 80s and maybe the early 90s, got away from it. So I love women's tennis in particular. And last night, because of the weather delay at the football game and because of halftime, I was flipping back and forth. But the women's semifinals last night were fantastic. And you have the final tomorrow with Ariana Sabalenka and Amanda Asamanova, who's an American who beat Naomi Osaka, who's also an American, but she plays for Japan. So I'm kind of glad she lost because I hate that. But the U.S. Open, Carlos Alcaraz won this afternoon, so he's in the men's final. The U.S. Open has really been a lot of fun, Frank. I know you've been busy with other sports, but it has been outstanding. And then we have Mizzou and KU tomorrow at the Zoo. Thoughts on that as we start? Well, not start the season. I guess we did that unofficially last week, but this is really the start of the season.
Okay, you have to be careful in the way you pronounce the name. It's not Jaden Daniels, it's Jalen Daniels. He's the Kansas quarterback who's got over 7,000 yards in his career, and this is his 6th year. And he gives you a semblance of Jaden. He's not going to be the second pick of the draft and a Heisman Trophy candidate, but he's a really good player. Look, all the talk in the preseason was Drink talking about his defense and the depth and the athletes, that linebacker Trotter. So they just have to make sure this guy doesn't go off, because I think Mizzou's offense is going to score some points.
You got to win that game tomorrow, though. I mean, this is a must-win game. The team knows it. The coach knows it. The fans know it. But it's shocking to me that KU has put together a competitive program in Lawrence, Kansas, but they've done it. Credit to their athletic director and the coaches.
Yeah, it'll be a great game. It's a 2:30 game. I don't know what you do tomorrow. Do you go to golf early? Do you make sure you're home for the Cardinals? Do you want to see the Hungo speech at 3:00? There's going to be an Infinity race on Saturday, and the big one, of course, is on Sunday. This is a tremendous sports weekend.
Yeah, we got Kenny Wallace coming up to talk about the races this weekend, the Enjoy 300. He's coming up at 5:30. Frank, get back on the course. Are you going to be hanging out there a lot this weekend, watching it and interviewing people? What's coming up Sunday night, by the way?
Oh, Sunday night, I spent some time today with Jack Nicklaus, so he's going to be one of our guests. He gave a really unbelievable interview. He's the best. And we'll be interviewing the winner of this tournament here at golf, and of course the winner at the Enjoy Illinois 300 at the track.
I love how he just nonchalantly drops in. This little name, Jack Nicklaus, is going to be on the show on Sunday night.
So neat, guy.
That is awesome. All right, Frank, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. We'll talk on Monday.
Okay, guys, take care.
All right, Jane, you got big plans this weekend? I know you had the bike races down on the hill last weekend.
Spectacular. By the way, it was an incredible event.
And I wimped out. I should have come down. I thought about it. I just got unmotivated in the afternoon.
It was actually really great, and it's an underrated event, and it was phenomenal. The weather was perfect, but yeah, it's going to be all sports all weekend.
I cannot wait. I'm looking forward to the game tonight.
Ready for it.
And I'm telling you, if you're into tennis at all, if you haven't checked out the U.S. Open, I would highly recommend that, because you're talking about Osaka, what she was wearing.
I cannot get that. Is just nonsense.
Yeah, I wasn't crazy about it either.
Silliness.
Did you see it?
It looks like a
she
tutu.
wore it every match. It looked like a tutu.
It looks like a tutu. It's ridiculous. Just play sports.
Well, she lost. And again, I get pissed
Well,
off at
it was
her
the
because
dress.
she's lived she was born in Japan, but she's lived here. She's trained here. She
Yeah.
lives in Beverly Hills, and she decided a decade ago, to play for Japan, which is utterly ridiculous. So I'm kind of glad she lost last night. Have a great weekend, though.
Bye,
And
guys.
Sue's coming back.
Bye.
We have Brian Kilmeade on the other side of the news.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the roads, we've got some volume out there on southbound 55 at Bates. On southbound 270, there was an accident south of Doherty Ferry that left us with a slow go back through Ladue Road. And westbound 64, moderate volume, but it's Kings Highway out through McCausland. Eastbound is slow, though, 141 and then Lindbergh through just Big Bend. And out west, well, there is some volume on 70 at Highway A, moderate volume on 40, headed out for the 64-70 split. And there is a jam headed for Wright City. There's an accident east of there that's really causing delays. I'm Sue Thomas, and that's traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, let's talk about tonight's game a little bit in connection with Underdog Fantasy. How many touchdowns will Patrick Mahomes have tonight? How many will Justin Herbert have? Or you start looking at running backs like Isaiah Pacheco or perhaps Travis Kelce that we mentioned. How many receiving yards? If you have some gut feelings and you want to have a little fun, download the Underdog Fantasy app, sign up, get a username. I'm going to get you some bonus money here in a second. And playing on Underdog, which you can now do in Missouri, is very easy. You choose whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. And you don't have to just focus on the Chiefs game. You can make maybe a couple of picks with the Chiefs game. You could play with as little as $1, by the way. You can win up to 5,000 times your money. You can throw some baseball in there, some U.S. Open, some PGA as well. They have all the major sports on Underdog. But download the app. Sign up with the promo code MARKR. As soon as you play your first $5, so you deposit some money, but as soon as you make a champions pick with $5, you'll get an extra $50 in your account with the promo code MARKR. Check it out today. Underdog. Make plays, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Tony La Russa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
I always get asked, when's the best time of the year to purchase an air conditioning and heating system for your home? My response is always the same. If you call me and have a free consultation on your needs and based on your budget, it's always a good time. There's never a bad time. You don't fear my pricing. I try to buy as much as I can at the start of the season, and anything we have left over, it's still a discounted price to you. So if you're looking or you're waiting before winter, because we all put it off, man. We all put it off. None of us like to spend money. But if you know you're going to be doing something before winter, call me, Bart Inman. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, BartInman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
KFTK FM Florissant.
An Odyssey station.
It's
It's official. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. President Trump has signed an executive order taking the first step to rename the Department of Defense the Department of War.
I think it's a much more appropriate name, especially in light of where the world is right now. We have the strongest military in the world. We have the greatest equipment in the world. We have the greatest manufacturers of equipment by far. There's nobody to even compete.
Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth on the reasoning behind the move.
Restoring the warrior ethos, restoring victory and clarity as an end state, restoring intentionality to the use of force.
The Department of War was created in 1799, but was renamed the Defense Department after World War II. The president was asked about the court ruling that stops the order to wind down operations at the Florida detention center known as Alligator Alcatraz, saying he's happy with the decision.
We're taking thousands and thousands of criminals out every month out of our country, some of them murderers.
The president saying Florida did a great job in building the facility. Federal immigration officials have notified lawyers for Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the man the Trump administration admits was wrongfully deported to El Salvador and since returned to the U.S., that they intend to deport him to the African nation of Eswatini due to his claim of fear of persecution in Uganda and other countries. New York City Mayor Eric Adams staying in the race and slamming opponents Zoran Mamdani and Andrew Cuomo.
I have two spoiled brats running for mayor. They were born with silver spoons in their mouths, not like working class New Yorkers. I'm a working class New Yorker. They are not like us.
Mamdani won the Democratic primary in June. Cuomo and Adams, both Democrats, are running as independents. A short time ago, President Trump said Cuomo has a chance against Mamdani. America is listening to Fox News.
Here's the tale of the daily Medfield. Same old pharmacy, same old bill, but those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings wrangler rode in, cool as can be. Have good RX, saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. Deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check Good RX. Good RX is not insurance.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit Pfizerforall.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
We have another cool front on the way, and we'll see a few showers around this evening and overnight, but the core rain is getting pushed to our south, southern Missouri, southern Illinois, so not a big factor for us. Partly cloudy skies will dominate right around 70 this evening, 54 for the low. What a weekend on the way. The first weekend of September, Saturday, sunny and nice, 77, 54 Saturday night. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
This hour of the Mark Reardon Show is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Your trees deserve the best care. Call Gamma Tree Experts. This is the Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Ryan Kilmeade is jumping on the line here. He will join us live in just a couple of minutes on 97.1 FM Talk. A rare Friday appearance, but I think it's been happening just a little bit more often where Brian's with us on Fridays just because his schedule is so booked up. A little bit later, right around 5:20 or so, Alex Rosenberger from Mastercars Inc. is going to join us over in Granite City. And he's actually at this car show that we're going to talk about. I talk about this every year. It's called Kicks on 66. It's an annual car show. So he just sends me a picture from the pre-party for this car show. And it is a 1.1, he's just taken this picture of this car. It's a $1.1 million Gunther Porsche 911. 1.1 million. So lots of very cool cars. Alex will fill us in on that. On the topic of cars, Kenny Wallace, NASCAR legend, good friend, good personal friend, good friend of the show. The NASCAR Cup playoff activities are taking place at the Worldwide Technology Raceway. Kenny is racing tonight in Peevely at Federated Auto Parts Raceway, and he's always fun to have on. Plus, an audio cut of the day coming up as well. Right now, Mr. Kilmeade, you hear him every morning here on 97.1 FM Talk. We'll talk about his Sunday night show as well that airs 9 p.m. Sunday night, St. Louis time, One Nation. Hey, Brian, how are you this afternoon?
Good, Mark. What's going on?
Well, we're excited. I'm excited about football. I'm a big NFL guy. I know you favor the football from across the pond, but I was thrilled to see football back. We got the Chiefs in action from Sao Paulo. We had a member of the Eagles that spat upon an elite quarterback in Dak Prescott last night. What about that? I mean, just ridiculous.
And they got a pass really from the announcers who took it like a holding penalty. I was like, what kind of discipline is that? Your best defensive player, and you spit on his jersey because they said Dak Prescott, he was evidently harassing one of his linemen. He walked over there and he said, "You spitting on me?" I don't know, whatever. But of course, you got to get tossed out. It's terrible. I mean, you don't expect that from Super Bowl champs.
No, it was disgusting. And I think, looking back at it, like you said, I think they may have gone a little easy on him, but he's apologizing. But I still think he's going to be punished by the league and maybe even by Nick Sirianni, his coach. We'll have to see. All right. What did you think? This might have been better than the NFL game, candidly. It was a pretty good first half last night. Not a great second half, but the hearing with Bobby Kennedy Jr. before the Senate committee yesterday. What did you make of all of those fireworks, Brian?
Amazing. You just said, you want there, you got him confirmed, so don't worry about scoring points. He's confirmed, but you want him there because you're upset by what he's doing. So why not make him answer? Why not let him? I watched Senator Cassidy, I mentioned on the radio show today. He asked 5 questions. And as RFK wanted to answer the second one, he said, no, I got more. Okay. At the end, he said, I hope you'll answer me. He's out of time. So when do we get to hear his answer? You had 5 great questions. As a doctor, I can't wait to hear it. You're a Republican, so you can't really say he's going out of his way to harass him. So I was just amazed by people just trying to score points. I remember Senator Bennett, who wants to be governor. He goes out there and he's yelling. Okay, what are you yelling about? Ask the question.
J.D. Vance had an interesting tweet. You wouldn't ever see this from a past vice president, maybe not even again. He goes, when I see all these senators trying to lecture and, quote, gotcha Bobby Kennedy today, all I can think of is you all support off-label, untested, and irreversible hormonal therapies for children, mutilating our kids, enriching big pharma. You're full of blank, and everyone knows it. And you can go back to COVID with some of this as well. The problem is, and here's for me where the issue comes down, Brian. I don't like all of what R.F. Kennedy Jr., believes in. I do have my own questions myself, but I also know, like much of the American people, and we've seen this on display, I don't trust the CDC. I don't trust a lot of these senators who are spitting out these numbers, et cetera. And I do think that he raises legit questions about the vaccine and how things evolved during Operation Warp Speed. So I have issues, but again, I can't put my trust in anything that the CDC says because they've been on full display as a group of people that you can't trust.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know where they're coming from. And now that they're questioned, they either quit, they storm out. One hops on CNN, says Robert Kennedy's lying. What he's trying to say is, I'm not giving these kids 50 shots anymore. We used to have 3 in the 60s. What changed? We were a lot healthier back then. We got this huge autism problem. Let's see if it's related at all. Maybe we should be spreading it out. Maybe we should be doing less. Maybe we should see some tests that are not run by pharmaceutical companies and run with placebos. So you could say, I get this, but instead they're supposed to accept it when you ask questions. We already know this. When you ask questions, people get offended. They fire you. They tell you to leave. They call you a denier, or charlatan in this case.
Well, yeah, and I think that what's going to happen is, and I don't know if there'll be ever enough pressure that he would resign or anything because the president seems to have his back, but it would be nice to have a conversation. To your point, look, both sides do this in the hearings, Brian. You know this. They shout, they yell, they talk over one another. We barely can get any information. In this case, though, to your point, it would have been nice to hear some of the answers without the shouting and talking over one another, right?
There were good questions. I'm not looking to give up all vaccines. I'm not equipped to answer that question, but I don't know many doctors who want to give up all vaccines, but I know a lot of people who are not comfortable with the, giving a hepatitis B shot to a baby that's born and it's been over an hour and you hit them with 22 shots. I mean, does that make you feel good? No. Well, that's the way it's done. So let's question it. This guy's questioning it, and now people are going irate. So, I know the problem with vaccines, the challenge. So we have the whole class vaccinated. 5 kids aren't. they get measles. Sometimes they can beat the measles, or somebody in your family, you carry the virus and you bring it to someone in your family who's not vaccinated. That's how these whole things spread. That's why they need everybody on the same page, but it's just not practical.
Brian Kilmeade is back with us. Right across the river here is the state of Illinois. We got big old fat J.B. Pritzker. He may have lost a little weight. He might be on one of the pills, but he's strolling along Lake Michigan with a reporter a couple of nights ago saying, everything's safe in my city. Everything's fine, when we know the numbers tell the story quite differently. We've seen what's happened in, Washington, D.C. I even heard, I believe on Fox this morning, David Axelrod weighing in on this, saying, look, this crime issue, it ain't going to work for the Democrats the way they're playing it right now next year in the midterms or in 2028 if they keep doing it. So Trump has the support, but I guess they feel like he's underwater on some of these issues right now with immigration. The polling has shifted slightly. So I guess they feel like they can do this.
Yeah, I guess they feel they can. We'll see. I think when it comes to crime, it's pretty clear that it looks like Trump has boxed them in. And I'm very curious to see, they had picked out the base already. If they just get that court case reversed, where they said that they're not allowed to put the National Guard in or the Marines, if that court case gets reversed, the president would go into Illinois. He doesn't want to put his people in there and then have some judge say, pull them out. That would be embarrassing. But that's why he's in the holding pattern now. He might just do Louisiana, where he's got a friendly governor and an unfriendly mayor in New Orleans.
Yeah, by the way, on that topic, I just wrapped this up this morning. Have you checked out the documentary on Netflix, the Spike Lee documentary on Katrina?
I have not checked that. No.
It's good. It really, look, it's Spike Lee. There's certainly some political points that are attempted to be made that I would probably shake my head at and, roll my eyes. But overall, it really is a pretty good documentary. It's in 3 parts up there on Netflix right now. I want to play this to you, and I don't know if you use this on the radio show, but this is comedic to me. A week ago, you and I were talking. President Trump was all over television for days in a row. Then he goes a little quiet over the weekend. And Jen Psaki on MSNBC says this.
Look, we may never know why Donald Trump suddenly spent a week hiding entirely from the American public. But you don't actually need baseless online conspiracies to explain why he might not want to show his face in public right now. I mean, for starters, there's the polling, and boy, is it brutal.
Okay, I could go on with that, but she's just so full of it. It's unbelievable. For her to say, like, he goes quiet for an entire week, we've never seen a president in the modern era be this communicative with the press, with the media, with the American people, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, we see it over and over again. I think the one thing that you have with Trump is that the people talk about Trump's health. That dog doesn't hunt, because, even though he's not working out every day, you see him every day, 3 or 4 times a day. He'll sit there with the Polish leader and say, any questions? And we'll take questions for an hour. Please tell me what's unhealthy about that. Well, he's all over the place. He's been all over the place since 2015, since 2000. That's what he does. He kind of goes all over the place. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong. In fact, I think he looks better these 8 months than he did the last 8 months when he was here the previous time.
You mean just physically, overall?
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no question. I mean, he definitely is thinner. I'll tell you that.
Are we heading toward another government shutdown? And here again is where the D's feel like they have some political capital a little bit more than they had in the spring.
Well, not really. I mean, I would think that Chuck Schumer might think that he's going to look good if they shut the government down, but I think it's going to make him look terrible, make him look inefficient. I don't know what the details are, but I'm pretty sure both sides do not want a government shutdown, because I know Democrats don't, because it would give the president free rein to do a lot of unilateral things with or without executive orders. There's a whole bunch of rescissions he could put through himself. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be the heads to get them to do some type of deal.
Have you at all been following, and this is fascinating from a media perspective, the Barry Weiss, the Free Press, CBS News connection? Have you covered that at all?
Is it done?
No, but it's interesting. I don't know that it's some, but there's more than just rumors that, CBS News is going to be spun, and that Barry Weiss, who left the New York Times years ago and started the Free Press, might even run the news division over there. I mean, that would be rather significant in the changes that might occur with the legacy media, Brian, if that actually happens.
She's very fair. She's extremely fair. She's from the New York Times, quit there when it got weirdly biased. But if you look at the Free Press, I find it really good, really interesting. I think she's really fair. I have not met her, but CBS would definitely have a different approach. They'd be forced to look at the other side. They wouldn't have little statement DEI soliloquies anymore. So that might hurt their morning show, which is way to the left. It doesn't even get many people watching. I think we beat them in 22 markets. We're not delayed either. So, they delay with the Today Show and all these other shows. So it'd be very interesting to see, because how much worse can CBS do on the nightly news? They're distant third. They're distant third when it comes to the morning show.
Yeah.
I mean, how could they think what they're doing now is working?
Well, that's why I find it fascinating. I think it's something certainly to keep an eye on. What do you got going on for the Sunday night show this weekend?
Douglas Murray is going to kick us off. Michael Lawler is going to be on the show. Curtis Sliwa thinks there's a pathway for him to be mayor. Emily Austin will be with us. Tommy Lahren and Mike LaRosa, former chief of staff for Joe Biden. And then, so it'll be a big show. 9 o'clock your time, 10 o'clock Eastern.
Awesome.
Sunday night.
Brian, have a great weekend. We'll talk next week.
Go get him, Mark.
That is Brian Kilmeade. You hear him every morning here on 97.1 FM Talk. I want to get into this Barry Weiss story a little bit more so people understand what's going on. Sue, I didn't really talk about it. It was literally on my list, on my sheet, that I have here in front of me every day this week, or at least I think since Tuesday. But this is fascinating. And this could potentially be one of the biggest, I would say, just handicapping it right now, one of the largest media transformation stories in modern history. And here's what's going on. You probably heard about the Paramount merger with a company called Skydance. So that was an $8 billion merger. Remember, there was a lawsuit that they settled with Trump, and a lot of people thought they only did that because they wanted to get this deal done with Paramount. So this is now called Paramount, a Skydance corporation. The CEO's name is David Ellison. So one of the things, I guess I would say a couple of things that David has done when he's come in here in the post-merger era is they gave South Park a $1.5 billion deal to keep that up at Comedy Central. But now, you also canceled Colbert, right? Okay, remember that.
Yeah.
Now, and apparently there is a lot to this, and this may happen. They're going to buy the Free Press. Okay. So this is what Dylan Byers at Puck News, who reports on media quite a bit, is saying. Now David Ellison has made some advances on another target, an acquisition of the Free Press, the defiantly heterodox news and opinion media entity founded by Barry Weiss. As you know, David has been courting Barry for almost a year and formally pitched her on acquiring the company at the Allen & Company conference in July. Those talks have progressed in recent days. I'm now told that the two sides have agreed in principle to a deal, and lawyers are hard at work finalizing a formal agreement. Hold on that. Just keep that in the back of your mind for a second.
Got it.
But let me talk about Barry a little bit, because the Free Press I recommend on a regular basis. It's the FP.com. It really seemingly... And I'll say this, I even, I talked about the pigeon racing yesterday in the Washington Post. There's good journalism that takes place in some of these publications that I rip, even in the Post-Dispatch from time to time.
Sure.
But the Free Press has this independent streak that you won't see anywhere else. Now, they're not staffed in a way that every time you go on their website, you see news story after news story after news story. A lot of the stories, they live up there for several days, and the content kind of comes in a little bit more inconsistently. But they practice real journalism. And Barry Weiss is far, far from a conservative. She is a lesbian. Her partner works at the Free Press. They have a good slew of people that write opinion pieces. Now, I'll give you an example of some of the great journalism that they do. Franny Block was a guest on the show last week. Franny's one of the big, important reporters there at the Free Press. A lot of these reporters came from the New York Times. And the story that she told last week was just heartbreaking. There were a series of pictures that came out that the New York Times and other media entities used to show starvation in Gaza. But what they did is they left out the fact that some of the pictures of these terribly malnourished kids also had different diseases, different comorbidities. So it's a very dishonest form of journalism, which is practiced on a regular basis, and which is exactly why Barry left the New York Times to start the FP, right? But this is where it gets interesting. They say David's offer, this is what Dylan Byers says, David's offer for the Free Press is expected to be well above the site's most recent $100 million valuation, but well below the $200 million figure that was recently floated in the Financial Times. I guess they do $15 million in annual subscription revenue because it's very politically charged. They don't have a lot of ads on the Free Press, okay?
Oh, okay. Free Press.
And there's no tech stack, so it's on Substack, right? But she's going to get a lot of money 5 years after her departure from the New York Times. But this is where it gets interesting. What they are saying and what Dylan Byers is saying is, as part of the deal, I'm told that David plans to give Barry a role at CBS News that would, among other things, task his fellow millennial with guiding the editorial direction of the division. In other words, you might have someone who is absolutely pro-Israel. She's anti-woke. She's not a conservative, but she's certainly not a progressive. She calls out the wokeness. And she, the way that Dylan Byers describes it, not to mention her broadly blank-kicking anti-establishment disposition, and he says it would inevitably inspire blowback from various corners of the newsroom, which, by the way, is happening right now. The reporting is that the people at CBS News are freaking the F out right now, and they're on a verge of a revolt. But I just want to put this out there because I think that this guy knows that something dramatic has to happen. CNN missed their opportunity.
Right.
They should have given Jennings a show. They should have redone the whole lineup, right? Because it's a miserable failure and nobody's watching. And the only time they are watching is when the clips get out on social media of Jennings and the panel making Abby Phillips and the rest of them look like idiots, right? So they did have an opportunity to do something different and reform the nonsense that they do on a regular basis. They chose not to do it. It sounds to me like David Ellison wants to do that. Bringing Barry Weiss over to CBS News, that would dramatically transform one of the most biased news organizations in American history, written about the first time in a book called Bias by my friend Bernie Goldberg, around about 1997. And that's where a lot of this stuff got exposed in the first place. I've been tracking media bias for 3 decades, mainly because of Bernie and his great book, which again was 3 decades ago. But this would be amazingly significant because it would potentially force CBS News away from indoctrination and propaganda and into, wait for it, hold on, I'm going to use a word here, actual journalism, which they do at the Free Press. Wow. Keep your eye on that story.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Wow. Okay, on the roads this afternoon. Let's say you're just leaving the office. Well, westbound 70 is just a little slow at Jennings Station Road. Eastbound is slow at Hanley and at Jennings Station. But westbound slows again. Lake St. Louis Boulevard out through the Wentzville area, and then it's a little slow past there. There was an earlier accident eastbound 70 near Wright City. Still some slow going there. Westbound 64, it's just moderate volume now. But it's mainly approaching Hampton out through McCausland. It's eastbound that has slow pockets approaching Lindbergh through Big Bend. And out west, some volume westbound on 6440, and that's mainly from 364 to the 70 split. Now, if you're headed into Illinois, really no delays downtown, but westbound. So if you're coming into downtown, there's a little volume on the bridge. And look for heavy traffic eastbound 70 headed into the depressed section. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic. This report brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. For over 25 years, they've been St. Louis's trusted choice for transforming homes inside and out. Windows, siding, kitchens, baths, outdoor spaces, and they give you quality craftsmanship backed by lifetime warranties. Visit lakesiderd.com today. I'm Sue Thomas. That's traffic. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
It's motorcycle season in St. Louis. Time to ride. When the road gets rough and you're injured in an accident, you need someone who's got your back. You need Kaufman Townsley. We're local, we know St. Louis, and we don't settle unless it's what's best for you. When it's not, we go to trial, and we bring decades of experience with us. Kaufman Townsley, real people, real results. Call 314-500-5000. That's 314-500-5000.
That baby's gone!
Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your home of the Cardinals.
That ball was mashed.
And there are more ways to watch this season.
Holy cow!
Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream the Cardinals without blackouts.
How about that play?
Or watch through a TV provider.
Incredible!
Including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more.
He got it!
Learn more at cardinals.com/TV.
Ball game! That couldn't have worked out any better for the Cardinals.
Bold conversations, no apologies. The Mark Reardon Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
I like cars, so you know that. I feel like I have a pretty nice car, like driving fun cars and fast cars, but I'm by no means an expert. And by the way, one person who is an expert, Kenny Wallace, is going to join us at the bottom of the hour. But Alex Rosenberger from MasterCars Inc., also an expert with his father, Gary. And every year, right around this time, Alex, how are you? We promote this car show that you're a big part of. How are you this afternoon? Happy Friday.
I'm great. Happy Friday to you. I'm in my element because I'm currently at the pre-show party for this right now, and the cars here are insane.
So explain what the name of this annual car show is and where it takes place.
So this is the Randy Gorey Memorial Kicks on 66 car show. Randy was an attorney who passed away about 6 years ago now, 5 years ago, and we put the show on in his honor to raise charity. He was a very philanthropic community member, and everybody kind of really jumped in, and it's taken on it's become a beast, that's for sure. We raise a lot of money for backstoppers, and we get some great cars. It's a fun day, and it's we've had to expand it into the night before and post parties just because it's getting so big. And as I stand right now, like I'm next to I think I even sent you a text of it, that Gunter Porsche. It's a $1.1 million Porsche. It's unbelievable.
Okay, so what makes a Porsche like that? It's a 911. What makes it $1.1 million? And then here's the other question about cars like this. Do people actually drive them on the roads? Or is it just something you keep on a trailer and you roll up to a show like this?
That one, yes. So when you get the big names in tuners like that, like a Gunter Works would be, yes, they absolutely drive in their driver cars. And that was driven here from Missouri. And it's here at Mossy Stone in Edwardsville right now. So it was pulled right in, wiped down, and on display.
Okay, but what makes it $1.1 million worth compared to another average Porsche 911?
It's real fast. Everything's custom on it. Suspension, motor, body, everything is pretty much one off. It's one of 25 made.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So what else, though? You sent me another picture. Like, what other kind of cars are rolling in? And are these mainly people who have large collections, or just could it be someone who has one cool car and they kind of show it off at the show?
At the show, it'll definitely be a lot of people who have one. This evening, for this pre-party, it seems to be like people are driving in with bringing family members and stuff that are bringing their other cars. I just walked by a Hemi Super Bee that was driven in, which that's crazy. You don't see those driven much anymore. But at the show tomorrow on the show field, there'll be over 600 cars. And those are, for the most part, seem to be, they'll have one, maybe two cars, and they pick, Sophie's choice for tomorrow.
What are you bringing? Anything that you have or that MasterCars has?
Yes. Yeah. We're bringing some great stuff. My dad's bringing his personal Blackwing, which is about a 700 horsepower Cadillac. It's unbelievable. We're bringing our GMC Typhoon. We're bringing a bunch of Corvettes. We'll probably have about 10 vehicles out there.
Awesome. And then guide people in is there a website where people can check out the information?
Yes, there is. It's kicks-on66.com. And it's in the event tomorrow is 11 to 2 at Ray Schoen Park in Glen Carbon, Illinois. And the Village of Glen Carbon's hosting it. They were very gracious, and they're great partners in this charity too.
Tell me, I'm trying to pull up that website, and what am I doing wrong here for the
Did I say .com? Kicks-on66.org.
Oh, I think that is .org. That's the difference. Yeah, that's all it was.
I'm geeked up over these cars.
No, that's okay, because I wanted to pull it up and I wanted to make sure that we gave the accurate information. But yeah, it's just .org. Kicks on the number 66.org. You can hang out tomorrow, and are there still opportunities to be part of like the show tonight or the after party? Do you have to be exclusive VIP for that?
You do not. So this party is going on at the Mossy Stone in Edwardsville. It's open to anyone. And if you like cars and you like good food, it'd be a good place to pop in at. And then tomorrow is open to the public. Everything is completely free. There's no admission, no price to enter your car in there. There is food available for purchase. And then the after party at EXO in Edwardsville is open to the public as well from 2 to 6 p.m.
will the Mizzou KU football game be on a big screen if I come out to the show?
Yes, that'll be everywhere.
I bet it will be. No, you were telling me, though, and I haven't been to one of these things. I promote it every year. You said this is a good year to come because it's really shaping up as an outstanding show with a lot of cool cars.
It is. It's we have a ton of people pre-registered. We have some of the best car clubs in the area. The Porsche Club, the Ferrari Club. Those guys are going to have a big presence, and there'll be anything from a $2,500 car to like that one I just sent you, $1 million car. So there'll be that. It runs the gamut. I'm a car guy. I go to these things all the time, and granted, I'm biased, but this is one of the best in the Midwest for sure.
Kicks on 66. Yeah, there you go. Kickson66.org. Alex, have a great time. Tell your dad hello. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, we'll see you. Kenny Wallace, the guy who knows a little bit about cars. He's coming up.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
I'll tell you what, we do have some volume out there tonight, but it's been a lot worse on a Friday afternoon. Now, if you're leaving downtown, we've got 70, just a little slow at Jennings Station Road and then out at the 64 split. But eastbound has some volume, and there's a jam from Salisbury almost all the way into downtown. There was an earlier incident. Westbound 40 slow approaching Hampton out through McCausland. But it's eastbound that has moderate volume between Lindbergh and Big Bend. Out west, there is some slow-moving traffic between Highway N and the 70 split. Eastbound 70 jammed in Wright City. And 55 actually looks pretty good. But there's some volume, not eastbound on the Poplar, but westbound. I'm Sue Thomas, and that's traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I want to talk about Michael's Baths, and this is a new sponsor. We welcome them to the Mark Reardon Show. I have not met Mike Gower in person. Melody Pepper, it's a family-owned, locally owned, operated business. We've done a Zoom call. I'm going to go out and meet them in person this week, actually, or next week. But Mike I can already tell just from the Zoom call, he is no nonsense. He just wants to get good projects, done for you as the customer, perhaps 30 to 50% cheaper than competitors because they don't have a lot of overhead. And all they do is baths. So Michael's Baths would love to help you with getting rid of an old, dirty shower, maybe replace that with tub space with something more modern, maybe a walk-in shower with safety features. They can help with all that. They deal with the top brands like Central and Moen. Those are backed with a lifetime warranty. They have a ton of 5-star reviews, and they just have a passion in what they do. And again, it's another example of, someone like Mike and Melody who have decades of experience in home remodeling. He has decided that they're just going to focus on bathrooms. So all they do is bathrooms to give you an affordable facelift, or if you need a shower area to become safer for you or your loved ones, that's something else to keep in mind. It's a free quote. So if you have needs, they'll work with you. Michael's is at 636-775-0800. The website, michaelsbath.com.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
5:33. This portion of the show sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air.
Fox News National, St. Louis Local, 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, Sue, as you know, and many of the listeners know as well, even though one listener thought I was dead and that the station was covering it up, I took a fair amount of time off over the summer because of a mental health crisis. And there was a point early in July when I wasn't doing very well. And, I was motivated to find help, and I had good, psychiatric help that I'd had for the last 12 or 13 years. But I mean, I got to a point where you start thinking, man, you're ever going to feel, better again. And one of the people that I love dearly in my life that I reached out to, and he reached right back out to me to see if he could help in any way, is the legendary Kenny Wallace, who's with us this evening to talk about some racing. But I first have to say thank you for your concern and your care and your conversations that we had. I guess that goes back 5 or 6 weeks. This is my 4th Friday. I've been on the air back now, Kenny, for 4 weeks, but I missed 5 weeks, if not a little bit more than that, with all that this summer, which is kind of amazing. How are you?
I'm doing good. First of all, I love you, and everybody deals with the same issues. I would say that I'm off-centered. You're off-centered. So us off-centered people, we can really relate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
But it always helps to be I think Einstein or some of them people would say, hey, the weird ones are the smart ones, because we think differently. But anyway, you're good. I love you, and we will get through all this.
Well, and I did get through it, but I know you were very concerned, and you reached out a couple of different times. You even called up to the Mayo Clinic because he had some experience up there, seeing if there was help. But I did get good help, and I had good help. And I mean, even a week ago, even about a week ago, I'm going to jinx it, I still felt a little wonky. So it's been a little bit of a long recovery. I got some meds that have probably kicked in. But, in your sport, this comes up sometimes because I had a lot of empathy for Simone Biles when she went through that years ago. And some people were very confused by what happened, but she did not feel safe in doing her work because of the mental condition she was in. I had days where I didn't feel safe driving. I felt so disoriented. But, in the game that you're in, you got to have your head straight all the time, or you could kill someone or yourself.
We all deal with it. If people tell you differently, they're insecure and they're lying to you. Everybody, my wife, she's juking around in bed, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? Oh, I got neuropathy. I think if I go to the casino would have helped me. I'm like, go.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. But no, on a serious note, very serious note, everybody deals with these issues. It has become more relevant in modern era with the cell phone and with all the technology. I once told, listen, one of my very best friends in life, Lauren Wright. Lauren worked down there at Laclede Gas. The name changed to Spire. Put in 25, 30 years, got ready to retire. And we were in Chattanooga, Tennessee, running Boyd Speedway. And I noticed he was like in slow motion. And, oh, my God, he's full-blown dementia. He doesn't even know who I am anymore. Kim's aunt, Pat, she died of Lewy body dementia. So my question to some of my people is like, when did dementia become so popular? I just don't remember it, and of course everybody's go-to as well, the cell phone, social media, everything's more popular now because now we know more about it. So that would be what I would say to you, Mark. You're not on an island by yourself. A lot of people go through what you go through, and people just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
But you're incredible to talk about it. I admire you. Good job.
Well, I felt like I went on Monica Adams' show a couple weeks ago. I just feel like there is more relatability. It's amazing. And, you and I talked about this a few weeks ago. Whenever I share the story and I get into some details, it's amazing how many people either have gone through something similar with anxiety or depression, or have someone in the family, or have, and unfortunately, to your point, this happens a lot with young kids. I've talked to a lot of parents, even people in my age group, that have kids that are either in high school or they're in, college or in their 20s. Some of this, I think, did have to do with COVID. COVID messed up a lot of people, but there's not enough mental health resources, and I don't know how you fix that. But again, I just appreciate the love and support that you gave me and so many other people did during those very torturous weeks. Let's talk some fun stuff here about racing. You're racing tonight down in Peevely, aren't you?
Go, Kenny.
I am. We're racing tonight. We're down here in Peevely. Although, if anybody's got the weather app, I have a weather bug. So I am, everything's good right now. We're concerned about, we see this storm moving across right now. I don't know, 30 minutes from us. I hope it misses us, but it don't look good. But so we got $10,000 to win tomorrow night, but 2-day qualifying. So, tonight, there's 40 cars here, and I'm starting in the 5th heat, front right side, qualified 5th. All is good. But then, of course, the big show is over across the river.
That's right.
NASCAR, the playoff races in town. See how it's a lot of racing in St. Louis this weekend.
How would you handicap the playoff race in what's going on right now? Like Joey Logano, who is the defending Cup Series champion, he's a little bit below the cut line, isn't he?
He is, but here's the way it goes. Okay, the playoffs just started last week, so there's a total of 10 races, right? It's a 10 race, but every 3 race, 4 drivers get thrown out. There's 16 drivers right now. There's 10 races, 16 drivers. Every 3 race, 4 get thrown out.
Okay.
So right now, Coach Joe Gibbs, the Super Bowl champion, he went out on what everybody thought was a limb and hired this kid named Chase Briscoe, which is a good drive. But, it's like, okay, oh my God, this kid won one of our biggest races last week, Darlington, which when you win that, you're known as a great driver. A track that's too tough to tame. So he's locked in for the next 3 races. So the way I handicap it is, kind of like to be the man, you have to beat the man. And you got the favorites. You got Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin. And, the ones that they think are going to get knocked out first are already locked in. Like Chase Briscoe, he was supposed to be out. Now
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Yeah.
I like Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, upsets. Yeah, I like him too because he's controversial. He's got a little Kenny Wallace in him.
Yes, he does, Kenny.
Yeah, you followed it, Sue, you're good at following the NASCAR stuff.
Yeah.
Is that because of Mike?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's Denny Hamlin, and he's a grown-ass man, Kenny Wallace. That's what else I like about him.
You're right, Sue. And here's what changed Denny. Dale Earnhardt Jr. does not even race NASCAR anymore, but he's still our most popular driver. The people are intrigued by his late father, Dale Sr.
Yep.
So Dale Jr. has started this big media empire, him and a partner named Mike Davis. Well, they called me up. I'm part of it now. We share, some revenue and Kenny Conversation and Herman Schrader. We got these shows.
Love it.
But anyway, Denny Hamlin does a show for Dale Jr. and it's called Actions Detrimental.
Huh.
Actions Detrimental is Denny Hamlin and another guy. And that's where Denny became mega famous because he would literally call out NASCAR. And it's like, wow. And he got fined like $50,000.
Whoa.
About 3 years ago. Yeah. But, he's rolling and people are seeing a different side of him. People that did not like Denny like him now.
Not like him. Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's
cool. So are you going to have any presence there at all this weekend? Sometimes you do, but because you're racing, are you not going to be over there?
Oh yeah. I'll be over there full force. So this is, first of all, a couple of things. I will be there. The Kenny Wallace Live show starts at 10 o'clock.
All right, that's what I thought.
Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the big stage. We're going to have Hal Mann's going to get us started off with the legendary sports song, na, na, dun, dun, dun. We'll get the crowd going. We're going to have Kyle Larson, Chase Briscoe, Ross Chastain. We're going to have a really good show. But I will say this, it's really neat. My daughters are over there making some extra money right now. They're at Ross Chastain souvenir trailer.
Love it.
Months ago they called and they were looking for some help, and my daughters are workers because
they're doing the
their
merch.
Mom and Dad. Yeah, we're Missouri people, man. We wanted to make some money. We're there, so the girls are over there. Go see Kenny Wallace and Kim Wallace's daughters. They're at Ross Chastain souvenir trailer selling merch.
Hey, Kenny, how was your garage sale? Can I ask that? Just throwing it in.
Oh yeah. First of all,
wait, I missed
12
this.
families.
I missed this thing. You got to explain what happened here.
Oh my God. Sue, tell him.
I don't know the story.
He had like a massive garage sale, and it was 12 different families. Even Miss Kim put in some fire suits. Am I right, Kenny?
Yes, that blew up. So it was a normal good old garage sale. We did good. We had very little left. It went to what was left was not much. Went down to Fenton to like one of those wholesale churches where you roll up, the men take it, and then they sell it. And so it's good money for the church. However, we had this thing called Kenny's Corner, which was my little area. and I finally talked him into getting rid of some of my great fire suits in my life. So we got some great advice. You got to clean out. We had too much clutter. So Kim kept like 10 of Pennzoil fire suit.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so it went really good, and there was too many people there, and but it was a great success.
What makes something your favorite fire suit? The one that kept you from dying?
No, ones that made me happy.
Okay.
Well, no, this is good. This is good because it's like, hey, this fire suit I wore, I was at a turning point in my career, and, I was kind of down and out. And then all of a sudden, Steve Park, this guy got hurt driving a really good cup car at the highest level. Kind of a David Freese moment for me.
Okay.
Where, I'm an okay driver. I get in the car, and it's a Cinderella story. I set quick time in the highest form of motorsports at Rockingham, led the race, finished second. So that fire suit, Pennzoil.
Yeah, you remember that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we got about 10 of those, and, we got great advice. And so Kim, laying in bed one night, getting ready to go to bed, and she just turns over, she goes, okay, I'm ready. And I said, for what? She goes, to let loose of the suits that don't matter. I said, all right.
Now, do you store those all in your garage, or did that in another part of the house?
When we left North Carolina, 27 years of racing in the highest form of motorsports. So these fire suits are about $3,500 each. You can catch on fire. Of course, we don't want to, but they'll save you 7 seconds. Actually, Bill Simpson, years ago, if you ever Google this, Bill Simpson sets himself on fire. He does it at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And so, racing's dangerous. So we wear fire suits, so if for any reason something happens to us, we get gas on us, it saves us. So, but on the outside is your sponsorship logos. No different than the St. Louis Blues and the Cardinals have their logo, except we use the sponsor, the people that pay us. So all these fire suits throughout the year, and oh man, she put them in these like wax cardboard boxes. And when we unearthed them, you could still smell the dry cleaning. I mean, they were yeah, she did good.
That is how did I miss that? When was that? A few weeks ago?
And that wasn't that long ago.
That was last week. All right.
And there was a huge line before anybody even got there, Kenny. They were all aiming for the fire suit.
That's amazing. Well, listen.
Let's yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say we were going to wrap up, but you get final word. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say I want to thank the Jefferson County Sheriff. I felt things getting out of hand. So the night before, they had 2 police down at the mailbox, and it was a wonderful event. So thank you to the Jefferson County. I guess it was
Sheriff's
Mr.
Department.
Marshak.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah. What I was going to say as we wrap up here is good luck tonight and tomorrow in Peevely. Kenny Wallace live at the track over the river on Sunday at 10 a.m. if I heard you correctly. It sounds like everything is good in your life. You are happy. And again, I really love you dearly for all the help that you gave me spiritually and emotionally a few weeks ago. And good luck tonight and tomorrow. We'll talk soon.
Love you, Sue. Love you, Mark.
All right, take care. Kenny Wallace.
Kenny. Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
All right. If you are leaving the office, it's not bad on 70. In fact, things look pretty good. It's eastbound 70, where there was an accident past Salisbury and a jam headed into downtown. Westbound a little slow at Highway A. And 64, just moderate volume at Clayton Skinker. But eastbound is slow just east of Lindbergh through Big Bend. There's volume westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge as drivers head into downtown. And westbound 70 is slow now at Lake St. Louis Boulevard. There was an accident earlier, westbound 364, really near Winghaven. You still may encounter a slow go out there. I'm Sue Thomas, and that's traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
What could be more fun than opening NFL weekend and Underdog Fantasy? That's a rhetorical question. Nothing, because now that football is back and you can play Underdog in Missouri, it's the best place to make entries and win money all season long. You can play with as little as $1. All you got to do is choose whether your favorite player is going to go higher or lower on stats. So I'm up on the app right now. Patrick Mahomes, how many passing yards, how many receiving yards will he have? How about Travis Kelce? How about on the other side of the ball, Justin Herbert, the quarterback for the Chargers? So you put some selections together in the Champions game, and you can pick other games. You can pick baseball games and other sports as well. You're not limited to just playing in one sport with one entry. But if you get your entry right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. And you can play, again, with as little as $1. It is a blast, and I'm going to offer you $50 in bonus funds right now. When you sign up, download the app, use the promo code MARKR. When you make a deposit and when you play your first $5, you'll get $50 in your account in bonus funds. How does it get better than that? Millions of fans have won billions making plays on Underdog. You could be next. Have a little fun this weekend. Download that app. Use the promo code MARKR. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
The Kansas City Chiefs season kicks off week 1 tonight against the Chargers in Brazil as the first week of NFL football begins. All of it is right here on 97.1 FM Talk tonight. Pregame is at 6 and kickoff is at 7.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Mark Reardon, Sue Thomas. This is the Mark Reardon Show.
See, one of the stories from the last couple of days had to do with Malcolm Gladwell admitting that he lied about trans athletes years ago.
That's right.
Because telling the truth destroyed careers, right? And he kind of had to come clean and say, yeah, I was bullied. But we gave him credit for that, right? We thought, wow, there's a bit of an epiphany. He's finally brave enough to say that. Well, J.K. Rowling, who is extremely outspoken on this issue, was having none of that because listen to her response. This is amazing. Gladwell's career wouldn't have been destroyed if he had been speaking out against the glaring unfairness, not to mention dangers of allowing men to compete in women's sports. He'd have had to have faced a loss of approval from the cultural elite and received activist blowback, and even that wouldn't have come up with the tsunami of death and rape threats women face when they speak. Non-famous people, mostly women, girls, and gay people, have genuinely had their careers and indeed lives destroyed for saying what Gladwell was too
Yes.
I can't even use that. I can't even say that. Synonymous to say she's a writer. She's smarter than me. And
too.
Gladwell didn't lift a finger in their defense. Like many well-known liberals, he was happy to watch members of the great unwashed bullied, traduced and defamed, fine with the erosion of freedom of speech, comfortable with young women being robbed of sporting honors and facing serious injury because he valued his own standing and security more highly than acting on the feeble promptings of his conscience. She should really write for a living. She's really a wordsmith. A rash of condescending men will swarm my mentions when I post this to tell me that I should be pleased about Gladwell's cautious backtracking.
That's right.
No, he hasn't changed. He's merely sensed a shift in what it's acceptable to say and feels safe to align himself with the new consensus. Excuses for his previous behavior to the fore. He isn't an ally. He is a weather vane. Changing sides years late. He got roughed up here. I didn't look at it from this angle until JK kind of guided me in. Changing sides years late and only after you've realized the non-elite opposition is winning isn't a mark of integrity, but of arse covering. Those whose overriding focus is remaining in good odor with the crowd can never be trusted. Gender identity ideology has been the modern archworld McCarthyism, and all Gladwell has done is reveal himself as a man who'd have named names but felt a bit uncomfortable about it afterwards. Holy smokes. That was something else. So I think I'm looking at Malcolm Gladwell's mea culpa a little differently here after reading that from J.K. Rowling.
next.
Playback ready.
Now, the audio cut of the day.
So I didn't have a bunch of selections today, but let's feature a St. Louisan in Jasmine Crockett, who is a congresswoman from Houston who, just beclowns herself on a regular basis. And keep in mind that this is someone that said nothing about the guy who was literally slobbering on himself in the White House for 4 years and didn't even know what was happening around him. And now she's questioning Donald Trump's health.
Donald Trump's hand look like it's about to fall off. I do think that we should have a reasonable conversation about what the 25th means and whether or not he is physically capable of serving, as well as I've already decided that he is mentally incapable, but clearly enough people are not listening to me.
So she's talking about the 25th Amendment. She's talking about the 25th Amendment with Trump not being, the guy doesn't sleep. He's on the phone at all hours with world leaders. He holds events with the media, sometimes 3 times a day, but he's not physically fit to be president. But the last guy, he was fine. He was unbelievable is right. Sue, have a great weekend.
You too.
Let's go Chiefs. The game is on tonight on 97.1 FM Talk.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the roads, we are thinning out nicely. Now, if you're headed into downtown, there is some volume eastbound 6440 east of Lindbergh through Big Bend, westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge, and eastbound 70 headed into downtown as well. Now we have an accident reported southbound 170 near Del Mar. That has created a jam. What looks good is westbound 70. It's just a little slow at Highway A. Eastbound, some moderate volume headed for Wentzville. And 64, still some slow-moving traffic, but it's mainly out at Lake St. Louis Boulevard. This report brought to you by Barron Mirror Glass and Door. Simply the finest when it comes to mirror glass and shower doors. You can't find better quality, prices, or service than at Barron Mirror Glass and Door. They have the basics all the way up to the elite. Barron Mirror Glass and Door can't be beat. I'm Sue Thomas. That's Traffic. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think